stuff. But here's the deal. I think that what's really interesting about the end zone system is this. Nate was a high school coach, I was a high school coach, and Noel was a high school coach. So, we don't have just this college or pro drop down trying to say this is what you need to do. We've all been there. I was a high school coach for 6 years. I went to 6 state titles in a row and won 5 of them. Had a great team. Obviously, we know that there's a great team behind that, right? But there's a lot of things I learned in trying to be a spread team where weather and athletes affect how and what we can do. It's not like college where we go out and pick somebody that's just going to show up and be our guy, right? So the first thing that we always try to realize is running the football in the spread is about controlling the edge of the defense. Okay? So here's what I mean by that. We know that we might face a true Mandingo end, right? That guy's a wolf right there. He's a guy we've got to control. What can I do in my scheme to control the edge of the defense? So the first part of the edge of the defense is the end. Okay? So the first thing I can do is we can load them. Right? We can just barrel down, have the fullback whack him right in the mouth. That's a power play. Everybody with me on that? Okay? So I'm going to control that defensive end. What's the next thing we can do after a load? Well, next thing that we do after a load is we can trap them. Okay, and when I trap them, I think about counter. I can trap them. 2 totally different looks for that guy right there, right? Now, after we trap them, what's the next thing we can do? Okay, we can just base them, right? We can reach them. Okay, and I'm going to tell you how I game plan this in 2 seconds here. I want to make sure I get them all for us. Okay, the next thing we can do to a defensive end to control his flow is we can slip him. Okay, the fullback can block back and trap that guy as we go through on the zone scheme. Okay, that's a slip. And let me tell you, that's one of my favorite plays in the playbook. Because it leads to play action. I can avoid the slip and hit the flat and dump Cowboy in the flat, right? All right, so I can slip them. The next thing we can do to a defensive end, we can read him. He's read, he's pitch, right? We can read the defensive end. We can flow away from him and read that defensive end. Okay, so we've got a variety of options of things we can try to do, and then we can just speed option them. So I can read them and I can speed option them. And those are the things we can do to a defensive end. The better the player, when I'm game planning, and I know my tackle in high school is 6'1", 220, let's say, and I'm facing a defensive end that's going to play for Noel at UCLA, what am I going to do there? Well, the first thing I got to do is I got to put a way to get that guy's head on a spinner. My job in calling the plays is to whack that guy around, give him 4 different plays out of the chute that I'm going to give him 4 different looks. Don't let that guy line up and be the true man that we know he is, because that's bad coaching by us. So I'm going to give him, in those first 6, 7, 8 plays, I'm going to give him 4 different things to make him think, oh crap. I'm going to slow him down and make him think. Okay? So that's really important to me. Now, the next thing we can do, we have to control the edge of the defense. So those are all the looks that we can do to control a defensive end. Well, the first thing that I started to realize when I was in the spread is the second part of this whole deal is, okay, I've got ways to slow the end down. Well, I better slow the overlap support or the support down too. Because if I don't, they're going to flow in and they'll sweep everything off the backside and it'll be a 3-yard play, right? And that's where when you learn Noel's key stuff, that's really a great play for us because that guy's now in a bind. We're going to put him in a bind. So the things we do to control that guy, there's a couple things that I think we do. If we're reading him, we can pitch off him, right? Or we can throw the key off him. We can do 2 things that slow that guy down. Make him play assignment football. We can throw key, which is key 1 or key 2, throw the bubble. Okay, we're going to read him. He sucks down. And if on key, we're reading that guy's flow right there. Okay? That's the guy that's going to tell us what to do with the football. Okay. One thing we can do, if your team runs the quarterback, okay, and we're going to talk about with a running quarterback and without a running quarterback, okay, there's a couple things we need to know. I'm trying to control that guy. I'm going to talk to you in a minute about cruising. It's an important part if you have a running quarterback, okay? But right now, let's say that's the man, and I'd rather run on him. I can base block him, which is back to going, I can load him. I can base block that guy right there with support and run on the safety. That's a decision we have to make if we're a running team and not throwing the key. You have to do what's best for your quarterback. Noah's quarterback at Arizona State was 6'8". Okay, so we know that priority-wise it was to get the ball and throw the ball with that guy. But he still ran the ball, which is amazing. How many yards did Brock run for? He had a few big runs?
Too big, about 3 or 4 times a game.
Yeah. So he still had the ability to run them because of the key stuff, and it's like the parting of the sea. You'll see when we get to it. Okay. So we can key them, we can block them, and then we can load them. Okay. There's other ways to control that guy with stick routes. There's different stuff in there that we're going to control the flow, the overflow of that guy also. All right. Once we slow down the overlap to the defense, where the flow goes this way and we stop down the cutback players, we get big cutback runs. Okay, and you have to understand, that's where the big plays come in the zone. They pop right through the A gaps, man, front side or backside A gap, and they're big. So we're going to protect that. So I'm going to go through the running quarterback with the zone first. We'll explain how we block the zone. And then we'll go into the key part of it. There's 2 different ways to block that, and I think they're really interesting, okay? The first thing is we're going to pretend we have a running quarterback. We're going to be in a 2-back set. Okay? We're going to be in a running set, strong safeties down. Okay, now, here we go. When we get into this right here, if we're a true zone read option team, if you're thinking about running the quarterback because that's what he does better, then we're going to show you how to do that. Then we're going to go right into what Noel does the best, is what the key stuff goes in. But I want to make sure you have both options, okay? Here's the deal. You can't run zone read pitch if you don't have what I call a cruise player, okay? And I'm going to show you different ways to get the cruise player. The cruise player settles inside, checks the backer, and then gets to the alley. Because if we're running zone read this way, he's read, he's pitch. Everybody with me on that? Okay? And I have to have a cruise player which ensures that if that backer steps out at all, they're running squeeze and scrape, my cruise is going to knock it off and make sure our quarterback gets tagged. If that guy steps one step this way, he's off the cruise and he's back into the alley. And it's flatter than you think. It's not up the field, it's flat because he's got to get back downhill at him. Okay? So, obviously here, we would be running Zorro odd. Okay? So, here we go. We're running Zorro odd. We've got this motion, which is, to me, that's a ghost motion. No, what would you call that? How would you tag that? Tear. If he doesn't go in motion, he does it on the snap, what would you call it?
Still have the snap?
Yeah.
He's not tagged motion.
Okay.
He just knows the throw a lot.
There you go.
Alright, so he knows I'm a pitch guy.
There you go. Okay. So as we go through this, because he's a pitch relationship guy and not we tear him when we're going to key him. We want him out on the perimeter right now. Okay? So when we're coming through this, we've got everybody blocked, we zone through. And now when we disconnect, here's the key to the disconnect. The quarterback attacks the outside shoulder of the flat defender. Why do we have them wide? A lot of people you'll see come right here, attack that end. Here's why we do the outside shoulder flat defender. We don't want that end to be able to play quarterback and pitch. And we really don't want the quarterback with the ball, so we're going to get by the end. The tighter the course of the quarterback, You can't clear that man. We just said he's a man, right? We got to get by the end. We got to clear the end. So we aim for the outside shoulder, the flat defender. Now we put 2 on pitch, and we get where we want to be. Okay? The tighter, the more hits he's going to take, and that guy, if he's really good, can play the quarterback, force the pitch, and chase it down. We don't want him to do that. So that angle to the outside shoulder, the flat defender, is really important. I was raised in the wishbone, won a national championship at Troy, and we use some of our option principles when we think about what's going on there. Okay, so I'm going to change the formation just for the pitch and the quarterback keeps, and then we're going to get right into what we do with the keys, okay?
You talked about how you're watching the backside of the...
No, we're going to go, when we get into the keys, I'm going to show them that right through it. We're just trying to show the real quick cruise part. Okay, I just want to show you how formations work and how we can get to what we need to do. Okay, to me, I don't want to run option football back that side because I don't have that cruise part. Does everybody understand that? Now I can create motion. I can motion him, he can cruise, and I can get it again. Okay? But I got to have a cruise part somehow. Now, there's a variety of backfield actions if we ever change some things, and I'll put those all online for you guys that we can get to. Let's talk about the scheme and how we block it. Okay, we're going to get into the keys now. Okay. If we go tear motion, okay, we're going to go, all right, we're going to start with the zone. Here's what we tell the line. That's Zorro odd, right? Zorro even. Okay, we're going to the right. Zorro even to the right, Zorro odd to the left. We have the center declare 0. He tells everybody where we're going. So if 0's to the right, we just count it out. We go 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And we're off to the races, okay? With a no 3 technique, the backside tackle uses what we call a 3 block. He stays in a cylinder. He's going to zone step with his right foot, and he is going to stay straight up in this cylinder, trying to work to the outside backer, the weak safety, okay? If that guy squeezes, we engage and we take him off. As we're working through the cylinder, we just stay tight. We want that guy's backside rush lane reduced. We don't want him allowed to squeeze the play just because we're truly like veering down in there to person. Okay? We're going to stay in the cylinder. As we clear the line of scrimmage, as we count it out as 1 and 2, 2 would be wider right here. We know we're working to 2. We get up on 2. Backside, here's what we teach. To me, the most important part of the zone, the inside zone, is clear the A gap. Okay? The best plays happen on inside zone when we create movement. If they're in an under defense, it will be to the right, and if it's an over defense, over to the right, we want to clear the A gap here. Under, we want to clear the A gap to the right. Okay? How do we create movement in the A gap? That's what we're going to talk about in 2 seconds. Okay? It goes back to the blocking scheme and the count. To me, the toughest block as a lineman is the backside scoop of a nose guard. Okay? I played center guard and tackle. I think that block is a bear. Okay, so my point is this. Sometimes in high school, getting that guy to scoop is rugged. You guys see that with a really good nose and that guy trying to dig him out? I mean, I was All-American. I had a hard time doing it. Okay? So when we look at the blocking scheme, we know these 2 guys are working front side. We got the zone scheme going. He's on an island on the back side. Okay, that's a tough block. So what we teach is to take the zone step, and we're going to displace the A gap. Even though I'm trying to shoot my head in the front side and scoop him out, I'm going to displace the A gap. So if he starts to fight across my face, my job is to get movement. Just do not stalemate in that gap. Because the path of the back, when you listen to Noel talk about path of the back, is at the nearest lineman. The back's going to cross the quarterback with the ball, and he's going to aim right at the closest lineman. If it's the front side A gap, he aims at him. If it's the backside, he aims at him. If it's the nose guard, he aims at him. He makes them wrong either way. So the whole idea is let's displace A gap. Once I start the displacement of A gap, I got a cutback lane. I squeezed off the backside end. I got up on 2, okay, and made things happen. If I change it to under, Okay. I go to the count. Center said 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, stack, 3. Okay, we've got a 3 technique to the back side. Tackles and guard will say under. Okay? These two are going to work the stack. Okay? And now, let's say in high school, this is stuff that I've done even at Division II, Division III level. Let's say the nose guard's the beast. My center's undersized. I'm going to make a rub call. The center will say, I can't take that guy by myself. He'll rub him. All right? I call it in and out. We'll step with our inside foot to post him, to buy the center time to get over, and then he's going to go nail his backer in the mouth. Okay? We rub him. Now here's the key to a rub. If coach is the nose guard, and I'm the right guard, when I step in there, I do not want to turn this shoulder. I do not want the outside shoulder to get involved in the rub. He'll grab me. I won't get out of the backers. So my eye contact is on Nate if he's the backer. So I'm going to rub, and then I'm out. Okay? And when I'm out, so I call it in and out, but I never put my eyes in. And I never put my outside shoulder in. My in is my body with that step. And I'm out. Okay? We basically, when we talk about taking on these two guys here, you'll always hear me talk about capturing them. We're not going to let them back to the inside. We're going to capture them and force them out. If I can't square them up, I'm going to capture them and tip them to the outside. Everybody with me on that? Don't let them back over the top if you capture them. Okay. On the underblock, here's the key. Okay, so we have Zorro, even, key, 2. Okay? Now here's the key. As we progress through some things, you're going to see that I've talked to Noel and we've talked about some different things, but the progression here is this. If it is a run play, and we know the tackles in the guards, we want their ears pinned back, and we want them coming off on that thing. Okay, because there's no risk of being downfield. If we throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, there's no risk of being downfield. Okay? But if we ever decide to throw the ball down the field, the tackle and the guard exchange becomes a little different. Okay? So here's how we teach this. We're going to stay in our cylinders. You're going to hear me talk about protections. I'm big on cylinders. Whole line playing cylinders. Okay? And we're going to play in our cylinders as we play football. Okay? By rubbing, I'm checking that guy back into the center cylinder. Okay? I'm giving him back to the center. I'm just giving him a little bump, right? Well, here we go on this. I've got to take this guy over. The streak technique becomes the tackles. Zone, zone. Okay? Now, how do we teach the tackle to take this over? We'll decide the tempo of it with the tempo of the play. If we're super aggressive, I'm first step zone, second step crotch. I'm ripping. I'm trying to take him over to the inside, get my face involved in the block, and pop my head up where I feel that backer. Because if the tackle works away, here comes the squeeze. Okay? So how do we teach that? So in being in control, so watch this. Here's what we get on the backside also. We get squeeze and scrape. Okay? So what happens now? I'm the tackle. Zone. I start to get in the crotch. I feel the squeeze and scrape going on. What we do is we settle back and just get a piece of the end. Okay? So I'm in the zone. He runs away. I'm going to settle back. I'm just going to try to keep that end off that squeeze. Best we can. It's not usually pretty. If you remember original zone blocking, I used to hear McNally talk about butt blocking. It's kind of got a little of that theory to it because we're just going to create a wall with our massive humanity in that lane where that guy can't get back to the cutback. Okay? So I started to sink. I feel squeeze and scrape. I look at my backer. He's coming back. My eyes come back. Just settle back and get a piece of that end. The bigger the piece, the better the cutback lane. Because if I can squeeze him off, he takes himself out of the play. That guy's running over the top. There's the cut. If we need it. If we don't get displacement in the A gap, he brings it back. That guy runs his guy through, and we get the cutback because the tackle sealed the backside edge off. The best plays to me in the zone come off the cutback. That's what I've always felt about it. I don't know, Noel, you feel like that's always been the best too? Okay? So, here's the technique. There's two techniques. If we get to where we will ever throw the ball and want to read it, whatever the route is, If we did something beside a key, if you've ever watched Canadian football, it's very interesting. The linemen do some different stuff. Okay? If we feel like we're getting squeezed and scraped, we know that we're going to drop, and then we shuffle, and then we read our way through it. That doesn't change the guard's technique. He's got to be aggressive through the A gap as we're getting through there. So on the tackle, I'm going to drop. I'm starting to get my head over. I'm going to shuffle, and then I'm ripping through the technique. Okay? And that helps us buy time to get my head involved in the block, keeps him through the cylinder. Once we realize that we get this movement, which is the number one movement to try to stop zone read with the 3 technique, Gobi, right? Then we settle back. Try to rip the A gap, because if I can settle this, and I can settle this, and he runs himself out of over the top of the play, we control the overlap with the bubble. Okay? And I displaced A gap because I rubbed it. I got a front side A gap I can rip through. Everybody you ever understand that? We on the same page with that? So, the technique here, slide, shuffle, and go. Okay? The guard's technique is to be ready for the pinch right now. We're going to take an aggressive play side zone step. We're going to give ground. We're going to get ready to rip. We're going to stay in our cylinder. And as it comes to me, boom, now, the number one rule on inside zone for offensive line is clear A gap. Well, guess what? That guy becomes an A gap threat if he crosses my face. His job is to clear the A gap. If you pick linemen that can't clear the A gap to be your guards, you will not be successful at inside zone. So, what you started to see in high school was, if my tackle might be a 6-footer, and this guy now is my 6'3" guy, and I'm back to a small guy in the middle. He's more my road grader guy, right? My guards are road graders, my tackles are more athletic because we got to make them get back and handle that wide rush man defensive end that you guys see. So we're smaller at the tackle, bigger at the guards. At least I was when I was a high school coach. I put my athletes out on space, and I made sure if that guy couldn't clear A gap, I told him from day one, you can't play guard for me. And my center's my quarterback. He makes a lot of calls for me. All right, no, we want to show them some zone read. Key? Anything else? No, you saw me. You want me to hit with them guys?
What's that? Any questions?
Anybody got questions on it? Yeah.
Hey, Coach, how come guards are in 3-point stance and tackles in 2?
I think that's individual preference. I'm sure if you... To me, when you're in an up stance and you're telling a guy to whack someone out of there, it's a lot harder when I'm up. But here's the stance. It ain't the old wishbone all way forward stance. And you watch how NFL get line against stance, their toes are almost parallel. There's less stagger in the NFL than anywhere because they work laterally so fast. So when we sit down, we tell them we're sitting on the toilet and then just drop your hand down. It's not a lot of pressure. We're just getting their pad level down and then we're setting our weight in our feet. And we can talk about that after we look at this. We'll go back to some individual stuff with the O-line and try to go from there. But I really believe that if you want to be a clear the A gap team, and Noel talked about it yesterday, so I don't know how you said it, Noel, but I want to go back over. If he has 40 runs in a game, you said like 18 of the zone, right?
Yeah, number one play.
Number one play. So, and to me, I disguise that same play 52 ways. With motion, that's what he does. He just gives you the same play in a bunch of formations. What I've always thought when I call plays, and I know Noel's big on it, I'm going to give you a lot of looks. I'm going to give you same play, 52 different looks, because those defensive guys spend all day charting, well, they did this in this formation, and this in this formation, and this in this formation, and their tendency down here was this formation. So I'm going to give you a dose of formations, but guess what? I'm not going to change the blocking rule for those 5 guys. Because here's what happens. I've been with guys, as I get older, the one thing I really believe is this. People that make it simpler are genius. Maybe I'm getting dumber, I can't figure it out. But I'm just telling you, like watching that guy talk about, he had this big simulator, and then I played on that thing for 15 minutes and was knocking out plays left and right. When I watch Noel, what he does, and I watched Noel when he was at Ole Miss, I was fascinated because guys were able to play hard, and I was one of those guys. And I played in the wishbone. All I had to do was find 0, 1, or 2 and come croak someone's ass. Right? I had to get after them. So I was allowed to use my face in the block and get after them. And I could do that because I didn't think. Zone read option is allowed to pitch off someone. The quarterback had to make a quick decision and we were gone. Okay? Well, that's the beauty of this. 50% of the run game revolves around zone stretch block, stretch inside zone blocking. It's one rule, and we can do it a variety of different ways. You got to love that as a line coach because now you're teaching what you want to be as aggressive. The other reason, Frankie, why we're down, and I'm going to tell you, my own belief is this: I can teach a guy how to be a pass blocker. I can't teach his ass to stick his face in someone and fork him. Okay? And I can't stick my face in a block unless I'm in a down stance. I don't care what you say. It turns into some form of the titty block. We're all up, dancing with face masks, and I know this. I didn't play very short. I played, but I didn't get in that NFL because I titty blocked someone. I stuck my face in them, and I got movement, and I had to get better at pass flow, but they were more patient with that because I did something those other guys couldn't do. I could come out the ball and whack somebody. So we want them to be face strikers. When we talk about run blocking, if we ain't sticking our nostrils in someone, we ain't going to be near success. We ain't going to clear the A gap. We'll walk somebody through the A gap. But when I talk about clearing the A gap, I'm talking about movement, whether it's on an angle or vertically. I'm talking about clearing the A gap. I'd like to push him vertically or straight back, on an angle or straight back, but I'm going to get movement on that player, and I'm going to use the flow of the backs to help me create that movement, and I'm going to run my feet and fork them. That's why the backside scoop, and this is the last thing before we drop on Noel's tape, I've just turned that in. If I know I'm by myself, and these guys have made line calls that they're all working together to figure out which 3 they got here, okay, I just call that a slug. We slugged that guy out. I'm taking a zone step to give me some depth to dig it out, but I know I'm going to be a lot more successful if I just crash that guy and clear the A gap. As long as there's not penetration, I know I'll be successful in the zone.
What are your splits?
We change our splits all the time. No, are you 2.5 or 2 at the guard?
3.
Noel has bigger splits than I have.
I can spread out and get them.
Yeah, this is why, because Noel didn't play in that much space right there. All right? And I'm like, I'm going to rely on Forger, but I love what Noel does. I really do. We got total agreement on everything he wants. And there's things that I've adapted to make sure I'm learning the way he wants it done, because just like the way he teaches his through block on his tackle. Okay? I mean, here's the deal. You guys have bought into a system. We're either all in or all out, right? Can't have you toe in it. If you think you're a genius and you want to keep some of those words, guess what? You have a hard time communicating to me and Noel. And Nate, we're here to help you guys. So, to me, if you get into a system, buy into it, learn it. I had to learn it. But I'm going to tell you something. There's some things I really, really love about this offense or I wouldn't be here.
So from the backside scoop, you give them an aiming point, you just tell them to walk them.
We wanted to aim, to me, if on the inside zone, I always aim low. I tell them the hip, and it ends up in the titty, right? But I want my head on the inside number. I want it on the outside breastplate of the inside number. That's what I'm aiming for. But I'll take the breast. But here's the key to scoop blocks, guys. It's all, and so many line coaches are missing this. Let me tell you something. If you came to watch me practice, it's all about leverage. Line play is about leverage. Okay? And that means leverage is in your hips. Okay? So, as I try to stay like a robot and stay on track, guess what? I got to be digging for leverage. And how do I do that? I got to take my right hip and start pushing it to the right as I'm controlling that guy up the field. Well, if I just push my hip and don't face strike, I'm waltzing, I'm dancing. Okay? I got to put my hat in the breastplate, strike with violent force, lift with my arm, but I got to push my hips. I have to create the leverage, and here's why we create leverage. 300-pounder. Okay? I only want to block 150 pounds of that fucker. Right? So I'm going to strike my hat on the breastplate. I'm going to push my hips, and I'm going to control that part of his body. without pushing my hips, I'm still driving a fork through 300 pounds. It just divides that way. Does everybody understand that? Watch. Okay. I'll give you two pictures. Okay. I'm trying to get in there. I hit him in the middle. I'm blocking 300 pounds. Well, guess what? If I hit him through the middle like that, I'm still hitting 300 pounds. Right? I got 150 on each side. Until I get my hat on the breastplate and my hips over, do I start to reduce the load that I'm carrying. That's why a strike is up through hips. And we start to control defenses. So if you do a board drill, anybody can walk a freaking board, but tell me when the hell that ever happens. Right? So here's what we teach. We walk the board. We get them in a strike position, facing the block. We go right, left, right, left, right. And at the end of the board, I tell that guy to move that way. And I want that offensive lineman to shove his hips and fight for leverage to the right. I want him to get used to pushing his hips left and right. Same thing if I have the board on a diagonal for a zone. We'll walk the board. And I'll have that guy at the end of the board fight that way. And guess what? We're trying to teach him how to tip that guy for leverage. If you're not teaching hip movement, you ain't teaching it right. Line play to me is eyes. We're going to strike you with our eyes. Okay? And then it's leverage. I can't strike you with leverage if I don't use my eyes. Does that make sense? My eyes are going to take me to the part of the body I'm demanded to hit you on, and I'm going to shove. I have the old drill, dick in the dirt drill. I have a lot of drills that we're going to put in the mud, dick in the dirt. Because if we don't roll our peckers, our midsection, at the block, if I'm not bringing that thrust, I'm not blocking anybody. So if I'm on a sled, we might start out with a 6-point drill, dick in the dirt, boom! I'm going to end them up on their bellies, dick in the dirt. It's that movement that creates thrust. It's this movement that creates leverage. Everybody with me on that? Well, you can't be good at one without the other. You can be a pile driver and the guy falls off because you didn't leverage him, right? So you have to have drills that teach both. The best way to teach leverage is with a bag, get down a short board, and then just move that guy at the end of the bag. Okay? And we try to get that guy to throw the hips to right and left. But in the beginning, I got to teach him to face strike, dick in the dirt. Boom. Roll my hips forward. Okay, your kids will come up with 52 names. Dick in the dirt was my word, and then they had pud in the mud. They had all these things that went around. So it was good. We'll look at the zone read stuff. We'll talk through the techniques.
Any more questions?
Free stats.
Yep. Okay. Three stack on the zone.
See how you like it looks like
Okay, hey, we're going to count at 0 minus 1. That's a 1-2 stack. And on the back side, it's a 2-3 stack, okay? And that's how we start it. We all take the zone step. Now we're working through cylinders, just like I talked about, right? We set the zone. Here's the key. The uncovered lineman's got to cover the inside hip of the tackle, okay? Or the inside hip to the guy to him. So my first step uncovered is going to be a little wider. It's going to be 6 inches deep, but it's going to be wider because I'm going to get to the hip of the tackle because we're both setting tracks that we're working together on that combination. Okay, and it's all eyes. My eyes in the beginning go from here to here as the uncovered lineman. We work the stack. Okay, now he's thinking reach because it really comes down to reach, zone, and then we got a through block on the backside. Okay, covered, uncovered. That's what you do. You either reaching or you're zoning. It's pretty simple. I love no stuff because he says, hey Jack, on the backside, if this is the 3 technique, we call it under because he's coming under. And then on the front side, if we're working a 4-eye, he'll say over, pushing the outside guy through. Pretty simple stuff. I like stuff that make it simpler to me. Okay, but here we go. So we're in reach and zone all the way through. We're setting our face. We're going for the outside breastplate. We're working thrust, leverage. Guy fights outside. I stay on my tracks. I get to the backer. Okay? On the center step, it's a little tighter cylinder because we're working the stack. He takes the zone step. It's almost like a through block for the beginning for the center. He doesn't know if that guy's coming with him or not. It's a head-up nose. He knows pretty quick on one step which way he's going. Okay? Now, here's the big part of this. This guy now has got a combination block right here. I call it a scoop. All right? So on that scoop block right here, he's got to get to the hip. He's got a bigger step. That's why 3-foot splits. You got to be a man right there, no. You're trying to kill us right there, but that's okay. I guarantee you, if we watch the film, those guys know when they got that scoop block, they're cheating down sometimes. Am I right? But it's all good. But we're going to cheat that down on the backside. Further I'm going in that way, I'm cheating down. I don't give a shit. I'll just knock the shit out of them and make it work. You know what I mean? I'm like, get mad at me, but I'm going to sting that motherfucker and you're going to be happy. All right? So, here we go. So we're knocking it out, playing the stack. The through block comes through. If that guy squeezes, we gotta clear it. Okay, because if he squeezes, what's he doing? He's coming outside, and guess what? We'll settle back on the end. We'll take him out.
What's your tackle step for that?
He's going to zone step to the right. If I get a head-up technique, I'm going to zone right, and as I start to work my second step to the crotch, my aim point's starting to get up. I'm starting to get inside and square. If that guy crosses my face, I'm going to fight for leverage to my hips to the right. I've started a track right there. The through blocks are square. They're not chasing right out of the beginning. We're trying to control that end by our split and by our steps where he doesn't squeeze us off that easy. Faster the back, the more you squeeze that guy back a little bit, the better, the bigger the split, all that happens. Okay?
Back top 4 gotta get the 4
We treat it as a 3. Is that what you're saying? Like this? How you making the, what do you?
3-4.
He called it a 4-2 box though. No?
Yeah, he did that 3-4. Put another back.
Okay.
Put another back route to the right.
Sam Mike Will like that? Oh, that's Sam Mike Buck, right? What do you want to call him? Yeah, that guy has 15 names. I've had him Plugger, Buck, Joker. Okay. I know what some people do. We start out staying on scheme. But I've also cross-blocked that to the backside with 0, 1, 2, and I've done that with a 4-eye. Okay? If you watch Noel and you watch Oregon, that's really what they do to the backside 4-eye. Because let me tell you, it's all about making sure this gap's right, right? Because we're going to clear a gap. I got a front side shaded nose, I got a center that's not great. He says rub. When he gets the rub block, this guy now knows when we say rub, he's on an island. He is on an island by himself. He cannot get beat inside when we hear rub. It turned into like man blocking right there. Okay? So he's going to take a short zone step because here's what happens on this play, in my opinion. Here's what happens. Okay. When I take this zone step, hopefully he stays in his gap, and I'm going to capture him. I'm going to work my hips to the inside and not let him back over the top. So really, my displacement goes like this, and I'm heavy here. Even though I zone stepped, I looked like I was coming over, I got a man scheme, I'm going to slide to the inside part of him and build a wall. I'm going to seal that guy from squeezing me back. Okay? Now, if I rub block, and I just step with my inside foot, give hand help, and I'm out, because my eyes never left my backer. Okay? And I'm going to take that backer. Guess what? With that flow, that backer's coming there. He's coming down. He's the B-gap player. Okay? But when I take that guy, again, look at my ass is going to be like that because I got slowed down on the rub block. I'm not going to get back and be able to square him up very good the way he's coming downhill. So I know if I capture him and I start working him for width, capture him, working him for width. Okay, I gave you help to displace the A gap. Okay, so we move that back a little bit. The back is going to see, back is pressing the A gap, right? And he knows if we get movement, he's got a two-way go there because of the way I captured him. But if he gets that, we get this, boy, we're out the door to the backside. And we control the overlap player with what? The key.
Now they walk the outside guy up on the line of scrimmage.
We can make what I call a push-it call. Is that what you're talking about, Noel? Okay, some people say fan. Okay, the tackle feels that the stand back or is a true threat. Okay? Okay, we started with the zone count, right? When I say push it, basically the numbers go over one number. Yeah, so he's a 4-eye here. He's pushing it out, because that's 0, that's 1, that's 2. We push the numbers over, and everybody's got front side zone, full zone right. That tackle determines that. How do we know that this guy's live? We watch that safety. Safeties tell us he's hot. He's a cat. Okay?
Well, I mean, that's what, you know, because I get that question a lot. Everybody wants this 3-4 deal.
Yeah.
We played Missouri this last year, 4 down front. We put in 3 down, right? Because we're here. Bergman was our keys and our. They put down 3 down, thinking they're having that extra guy out there to play our comments and our keys, right? But to me, I'm like, yeah, because now you only got 5 guys in box.
Right.
Right? So you got to, we do the same thing. If that guy becomes a threat on the edge, you right tackle, he's threat, he says alert. He did the same thing in the past. He's alert, and then when it's called push, we do east-west.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pushing it all that way. But you got to remember now, if they want to do that, what people have trouble with, if you don't motion, if you don't air motion, fast motion, quick motion, right? Because just like in this book, so then we started gashing them with the run. Missouri in the second half, because if they want to play that and I'm sitting like this, and all of a sudden this happens, and they're trying to stop the run with that, well, freaking they run out of guys out here. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's why I think it's so important that this is so important part of the zone play. If they're going to play 3-4, freaking there's 5 guys in there. Just like Jack said, man, it's freaking paced, folded, you're fucking gashing these guys in there.
So on the alert, you're pushing over all 1 count. So the 0 now becomes a -1.
Push it, or Noel called it east, okay? He says east to the right, west to the left.
Right, so the tackle just looks up and goes, he's the sandbacker, and he's freaking, and he'll look like he said he's capped or whatever.
He's capped with a D, but he also, these guys on defense, they're excited, boy. He's got.
Just says, alert, alert, alert. The center, he don't know, all he says is fucking east. That just tells everybody, there's elephants to the right. We're hauling it.
We're track blocking, baby. Boom.
Yeah. And so instead of him throwing, he knows, man, I got
chasing.
Okay, we're still reading that guy. All right. So I mean, I love 3 down. I mean, I love the 3 down stuff. Because anytime to me, a 3 down front is a balanced defense. All right, they're playing the field. They're not playing the formation. Okay, so anytime you create 3-by-1. You can outnumber on the perimeter as much as you want. With motion, line up in 3-by-1, whatever. They better go cover down your guys out there. We're throwing keys. Usually they're post safety defense. So now they're having an issue with your vertical game.
Those are the things I think when you really get into Noel stuff, what he's talking about now is when he gets a balanced defense, he likes to slide them and displace them, put them in places they're not usually used to playing. Okay, and then he creates the leverage he wants with his play calls. Okay, he stresses the defense.
So you get a 4-eye out of
on the backside?
3 down, 4 eyes stacked in line, 3 stacked, the 4-eye in the shade to your right.
Yeah, there's different.
Yeah, backside.
Is this guy in hip position? Because we could still push.
Out of there with the formation.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you handle the backside with the 4-eye with the stack?
We can combo. We can do a lot of things. I can make a lot of calls to make that right.
Right there, he'd be through.
Yeah.
You can only make that bang call on the backside if it's a 3-2 in the box.
Yes. Because this is an 8-man front. So he would have to lock on it right there. Because we sunk him down. See, that's why the part I like about the zone, what tells me he's got that fucker is, I counted it. That's 2. That's how we know, okay? Guy knows he's inside. He's already just lined up squeeze. He just lined up head up and squeeze.
Now for us, the guard he makes a decision. So he looks up right there, if it's 3-3 stack, all all right? That left guard is gonna look at that, he knows, well, fuck, I'm in double with the center, what do you call it? I'm in double with the
Scoop.
back of my back. So he says nothing to the left tackle. The left tackle says, I got blocked the most dangerous. If it's a 4-eye, he's the freaking most dangerous. Go block that. Remember, we're keying that D on the left out there. Quarterback is.
This is the key?
Yeah, we're keying him.
He's wrong.
The quarterback is.
If he, just say, he hands it, will it cut back across?
It could, because sometimes that watch goes way in there. It can come back behind that. Because when you play a bear defense, one of the things I've always liked about zone is when it cuts back behind all that shit right there. I love that cut right there against bear. That's always worked for me. Same thing, right? Washing it all out of there. It all comes down to this. This guy can't allow penetration. So he's got to take a great zone step. He's got to strike that hat in there. He's got to go to work. If that guy chases down in there, he better push him with leverage on an angle. Cannot allow penetration. Anything penetration-wise in the run game, you're freaked anyways, right? We know that.
So if you're the line coach, so my line coach comes to me and he goes, fuck the 3-3. All right? Excuse me, Jack. I just want to...
No, good.
All right? I mean, I'm thinking about now as you're game planning this. Okay, well, they're going to play this front. So this front, 4 eyes here, so they can do that. Here, okay, there's 6 guys. So there's 7. There's 8. There's 9. Yeah, they got to cover my guys. All right. There's whoever that is, a nickel or whoever it is, a strong safety. Okay, they want to play me like that. All right. Well, I want to run zone that way because I love this. Boom, right? Boom. Okay. Shit, 4 eyes. He's got a lock on it. All right. So the old line coach comes up and says, no. We need to run our zone that way against these cats. Okay? Because if this guy wants to stay in here, all right, who in the hell's covering that son of a bitch? Okay? So that's the run that week. All right, we're playing a 3-3 stack team. We're going to be there. We're going to be here with tear motion. We're going to create this out here because you can't leave 6 guys in there on me to stop that. Can't. All right? And we may call it 20 times and throw it 18 times out here if that guy wants to sit in there. What will happen is this guy will start doing this. All right? That guy will start, worrying about that as you saw on film. And now that's when Jack says, that thing will go boom right there. Okay? Now he starts middling it, kind of trying to play both, and he's falling back in on this thing after a 4 or 5 yard gain. All right? So now screw you, let's freaking lock their ass. Right?
And at the lower level...
Or we'll pop them right there. So, same thing with your quarterback is, this is the guy we have to control. We have to control him. All right? Because all he's worried about is 4 down to Mike.
That's right.
That's his guys with a true back tackle. Right? It's like anything. You could get up here, we could, well, if they get this, and they get that, and they get this, they'll fucking got us. Guess what? They got us. Right? We're playing fast, so your defensive guys better be well schooled on all this.
Because that front, if you got somebody like angling, tilting that nose on the backside, they're playing slow on the backside of it, and they're not.
You can fold it. Is that what you're talking about? You want to fold it?
Fold that.
Yeah, it depends how good he is. The only time I've ever seen the tilt nose that really matters is in the old NFL 4-3 defense, and that could cause a little bit more problems because they cover everybody down.
The thing you don't like about holding it at the point of attack on zone read, all right, is you start declaring your back where he has to go.
I agree.
I do not want to declare the back where he has to go. The big word that Jack uses, all right, which I think, and he's an O-line guy, I'm not, so I really don't know what
It's okay.
those guys do, okay? Except get those guys tomorrow. Is displace people. That's why
Love it.
Split. If this is a nose on me right here, and I could be 180 pounds, I'm not, but I could be, all right? And this guy got me by weight, and this is exactly like Jack said. He's trying to get here, but if this guy is still fighting for his life, all right? And we just take that sucker and freaking Alex Gibbs.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. I played for Alex.
The whole thing, man, just run that son of a bitch to the sideline.
That's exactly what he was.
You just created a big gap.
When I played for Denver, we were the most undersized line in the NFL. I was 6'1" and 7/8, 269 pounds, 270 pounds, okay? But Billy Bryan was 265. Mike Freeman was 255. Our tackles were Dave Sturgeon, who was 6'4", 275. But what we did, we were nasty as shit because we had an old wild Indian up there, Alex Gibbs, a Cherokee, and we cut the crap out of people, and we kept our feet hot all the time. And people started getting pissed the more the game we're not supposed to cut anymore. I don't know where that came from. Them faggots on defense made that crap up. All right? So, but here's the deal. I told you the scoop block is the toughest block in football. Blast that motherfucker. You know he's going to try to squeeze that guy. Just move him and displace him. Because the back will feel that. The back will feel that. And we'll be rewarded for that because the through block will take care of the leverage. Boom. I don't like cutting on inside zone.
They grab our center and they're fast playing the Mike.
This guy's grabbing the center?
Yeah.
I chopped the piss out of him one time, let him know that shit ain't right.
That's a perennial problem. You line the big thing, call it. The big round, you just grab your center and hang on.
There's some drills. I need to put up something. There's center drills. You're going to have a guy, if you're fractioning the center, I'd get a Nerf ball. Give it to him to go home with, because if he ain't learned to step and snap at the same time, you're freaked anyways. And you're going to learn to go boom, boom, same time, boom, and start fighting for leverage. Then take 2 steps and go left, boom, boom. All right, and I'm going to get, this hand is the weapon. This hand is screwed as the center, right? So if they tilt me on this side, I'm going to learn to use this hand as I'm stepping away from it to buy time for this hand to get back up. So the biggest thing you can teach a center is to snap, step, and move that hand to wherever that defender is. Because this is all I got. This ball is going back. I got to fend them off for a second so I can come back up and get my hand on the inside breastplate. So you've got to get a Nerf ball. He's got to be stepping and snapping, 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 stepping and snapping. Then to the left foot. It's got to be clockwork. If he ain't together, you ain't coaching it right. And he's got to know it's the biggest weapon I got is my offhand. If you look at my hands, I can't even, my hands are screwed from playing center. They've been stepped on. That's as straight as I can get. I can straighten them out, they go right back. Okay? One was I fought about every other play in every level I've been at. Been stepped on, hit the guy in the helmet, did a lot of things. But I use my hands as my biggest weapons as a center. These are what you got, and you got to put your face in there and be aggressive. That's why I'm a big guy. When you teach them how to lift, dumbbell lifting's awesome, dudes. We're barbell, but guess what? Football ain't like a straight press. It's friggin' jerking them, boom, boom. There's some things out there that I'll show you guys this will be the last thing I say when we'll put on those tapes. I have a bar. Looks like an old circus. I'm ready to get out. I have a bar. You guys if you guys have people that can manufacture things for you, a fabricator, it looks like a circus barbell. Okay, it's hollow, it's steel. The bar is steel. There's a pipe that comes right down the middle of it. This is a plate loading plate. It's about an 18-inch bar, but here's what I know. As linemen, I love our hands to be strong. What are we doing nowadays to make linemen hands strong? They get calluses and they all cry in the weight room, for Christ's sake. So what we do, we have a bar, and we make it. It's kind of slick. I'm gonna take a picture and I'll put it on the website. And you C grip it and then you grip it, and you'll see we put guys in the football in an athletic position, break down, and we got plates on it, and we start pressing that thing like this, and then we move our hips and we press that thing. But boy, I'm working my hands inside, and it's awesome. And I'm getting strong fingers from it. And this thing is an awesome, awesome piece of machinery that you guys need to see what that looks like. All right, now let's pop on the tape, man.
Any more questions? Yesterday I saw you were explaining how your O-line goes one more time with the center.
one count.
Okay, so you have, a couple different snap counts.
This is exactly what that guy was wearing last night at Legends that was singing at 2 a.m. And then Nate wants to frickin' meet at 8 a.m.
Welcome to Nashville.
And Jack can help you on this. This is just, like I said, I'm not a O-line expertise by any means. All right, but our snap counts, all right, our base snap count is ready, set, hut. All right, so and it's got to be rhythmic because we send our motions on ready. All right, so like our tear motions and those type of things. I don't want the quarterback having to worry about when the back's going. So if he's got blue formation, all right, and I'm going to go tear motion, all right, he just says ready, and that guy's gone. All right. So that's ready, set, hut. The one you were asking about was, then we've got quick, all right, so I'm sending all these F quick motions or Z quick motions, or maybe he'll just throw quick in there every now and then, all right? So if he brings the motion like this and then he asks for the football, okay, we just ask for the football, well, the center's got to see when he wants the football, so he's looking back at us, all right? So what we've taught our guys is that the center, as soon as he sees the indicator that the quarterback wants the football, he picks his head up, all right, and snaps the football. And so the tackle and the guards, they're like this, and I don't know, Jack, if this is right or wrong. This is just how Gov did it, all right? They're looking at the center's head, all right? And as soon as they see the center's head come up, they go 1,001, and they go, all right? So they're not watching the football being snapped. And we have never had a guy jump off sides. All right?
You do a lot of time count, don't you?
Well, we do a lot of F-quick stuff, you know. Now, it's just that same way if we were to go silent, say we're playing in a stadium where they can't hear, and we work silent that whole week, all right? If he says silent, all right, if he says silent to the guy, he goes, dual right, Zorro odd, key 1, silent, all right? Or we just said this whole drive we're going silent or whatever, all right? Once he gives the indicator, all right, once he gives the indicator, he looks up, all right? He looks up, it's the same way. 1,001. Now, some guys yell go with the center. I don't know if our guy does or not, to be honest with you.
I don't like it.
Yeah, all right. So silent and quick, that way they're working the same type snap count. So the defense doesn't always know that, all right, we're going on silent or we're going on the head up.
Because I got enough shit to do. I don't want you're standing back there as a quarterback, whether you're 4 yards, you got time to say the count. All of a sudden I gotta add the count, and I'm trying to figure out who the freak I'm supposed to block, and there's that guy moving away from me, toward me, up the field. You center, if he's not very good, it gives him a little jump head start, but to me it ain't worth it. I just wanna whack these off.
Then I think the other thing that's good to do is the lightning and thunder. All right, and I haven't really talked much about thunder. But lightning now is verbal hard count, okay? Thunder is silent hard count.
So the center's going to pick his head up twice.
He's going to pick his head up, all right? He may go like this. He may pick his head up, all right? Look again, pick his head up. He may go, go! You know, he's just trying to get these guys to freaking jump. It's the center's job. When it's lightning, it's the quarterback's job to get him to jump. So he'll come up and he may do whatever, green 80, whatever, do all this stuff, keys and all this, and he go, ready, set, hut, hut, and then he tries to get him to jump. Thunder, the center tries to get him to jump. All right, but you never call a play. Okay, no plays called. It's trio right lightning. Okay, so like you should watch like Chip at Oregon, or I'm trying to think who else. That gets called a lot, especially situationally, in the red zone. 3rd and 2. West Virginia does it. Okie State does it. Where as a coach, all right, and a lot of times it's like I talked about F. Shack yesterday. That's lightning's another one of those plays where I don't know what the fuck I want to call. Okay, just lightning it. All right, trio right lightning. You'll go lightning, lightning, lightning. All right, that gives you chance to see if they jump offside, you get 5 yards. All right, if they don't, you've had a chance to see. Oh shit, they're in cover 2. So he'll go, hut, hut, hut. He looks at me. I go, Zorro, key one, he'll go, hey, Zoroad, ready, set, hut, and we'll run the play. So it gives you a chance to maybe get into a play that you want or see a defense before you call your play, which is usually best, like I said, situationally, red zone. You know, are they going to blitz me in the red zone, or is it third and two? All right, I'm going to try to hard count them, get them to jump off. If they don't jump off, I get into my 90 game or whatever. All right. Are there any, hey, so let's just count. Is there any questions? Have you guys done some of this for a while? Anything?
How many new clients are there? No, they haven't done it for a while.
Haven't done it? How about you?
I wanted to have Coach Melton just say a couple words. They went 9-3 this year, and first year you some of your Coach, just talk a little bit.
Where are you from, Coach?
Yeah, Leslie County High School, probably in Kentucky. That's probably most famous for Kim Cass High School.
Oh, yeah.
Mid-90s, our head coach then, we've done a lot of Florida State stuff. He got some.
Wait, Tim Couch's high school and you're running my stuff? Hal Bummy is sending you hate mail, isn't he?
That's part of the problem, Coach. We in the mid-90s, we were doing Florida State stuff, and that's been with us since then. Some of it, they've doing a lot of upscale stuff with Charlie Ward, and we got that from them. Then when Coach Mommy got there and Tim went on UK, we started mixing in with the Mommy and the league things with some West Coast principles. We just had, all that stuff out here. And we noticed a lot of the stuff, you did a lot of the same concepts, but with you, it was more centralized and focused. So we had something just, I guess, like I said, central and focused to go to. That's what helped us more than anything, but we didn't really even get into the offense until probably game 3 or 4. We started mixing in a lot of your concepts, and we had somewhere to go to on the website too. We had a problem with our zone stuff. We had a problem with our pass protection, with our different fronts. We could go to your website, the seminar, or the webinars, and we could just find the problem and fix it. We also went to the wide split. That was one of the things early in the year. We had narrow split, having trouble running the zone. And we got wide. We went to practice the first day when we went 3-foot split, and the line looked at us like it was crazy, and we were thinking, and our head coach too, he was worried about it, but if they tell us guys to do 4 eyes, we're in a 4 eye, whether you're 3 foot or 1 foot, but it just helped everything with our running game. But we did go 9-3, won the district championship, first one in 6 years. I think probably the first one in 6 years, but we did a lot of the 2-man snag concepts, 3-man snag concepts, mid-season on, and it
Worked out for you?
was great.
Were you terror motion and fast motion and doing all that stuff?
And some of the G series, we started some of the motion. We got the wide split, and you guys probably, like I said, have done this, when you get that wide, sometimes they start freezing the edge down, so we just run the terror for quick motion and hand it off, and then, in the jet sweep look, or it even hit the rocket laser, hit the screen too, and bring those guys down.
Mhm.
We're another wide split, we got everything, so. But it helped us centralize. If we were West Coast, UK, Florida State, we just had all this stuff haphazard thrown in there over the years, and it just focused us down to.
It's funny you say that, because I went and visited when Mark Rick was the coordinator of Florida State with Charlie Ward. I went and spent a week down with him down there, and that's where I started a lot of the spread. My spread concepts came from him, and then I got to know Leach back in '91. We went and drank beer for about 4 days in Pullman, Washington, all right, at a one-back clinic, and that's when I started getting all of the Hal Mummy stuff, not flipping your guys, creating. Now there's some differences, because formationally with what they do and what I do, all right, but it's funny that you say that, because that's I went down the same path that you went down. All right.
I played with, the guy that started the vertical set stuff was Guy Morris. And I remember in 1986 sitting on the football field with Guy, and he was thinking about it then, because he said, you look at the fastest guys on the football field. He said the DBs, we were loaded at DB. Mike Haynes, Raymond Clay, we were loaded. And he said, those DBs, man, the fastest guys in the league, they go like this. Did they do this to get back? It was a huge set. He said, and then he said, okay, then what's the next thing we put all the fast guys on? Punting. He said, and how do they set? Do they kick out and do this? It used to drive Guy crazy. And right then, he was developing the vertical set, and then he became the line. He retired the next year, became the line coach for the Patriots, and started vertical setting in the NFL. And so, and when I did it, and I'll talk to you guys about it later when I talk protection, but staying in our cylinders and moving our eyes and body protection in the gaps instead of just leaving your gap and kicking wide. Man, it's so smart to me, it's scary, and it's so simple, it's scary.
So this is just open forum, so what do you guys want to talk about?
So here's something that we battle with, because we're sort of old school power football. We're from Atlanta, Georgia. It's something that we play teams that if we go 3 and out, we may not get the ball back for a long, long time. It's a fear we have, and it's something maybe you could. You went from running a pro style offense to this, and some of the questions we have is like, how do you stop people? Like, we play people that.
Well, you're in the wrong room. You should be in Bill Clark's room. All right.
It's something that we're trying to.
I mean, how do you stop people?
Yeah, I mean, like, if we go 3 and out, it's like.
I'm
trying to sound ignorant by any means,
but I mean, does it matter what kind of offense you run? If you go 3 and out, you're going to have the same problem. So that's not that has no bearing on what you're doing offensively.
And you are running some time off the clock.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of his spread to me. He believes if you don't start that inside zone, he'll call it 10 times a rush. He has no pride saying, I got to show you that I can throw for 700 yards. He's all about winning. And until you stop what he does, he'll call it again and again and again and again and again.
I guess I'm missing your point is that you're going 3 and out but only running 50 seconds off the clock.
Yeah.
So I'm looking, I mean, that's fine with me. I'm looking for touches.
Right.
I'm looking for as many times as I can touch the ball, possessions in a game. Okay? If it's 3 and out, it's freaking 3 and out. Hey, defensive coordinator, you can go out there and make those guys go 3 and out. All right, give me the ball back. So it is. It's not. I mean, if you want to, if that's what you're worried about, then you need to be like in Stanford's offense or something like that, where you're in a huddle, breaking the huddle, you're running the clock down to 3 seconds because what you're trying to do is you're saying my defense isn't good enough for me to run this style of offense. All right. Well, I don't agree with any of that concept. Your job, you're the offensive coordinator. All right. Your job is to do what? Score points. End of story. All right? Your job isn't to run unless your head coach tells you because he's the boss. All right? And I talked, I'm going to go to it this year. Dana started doing it because I talked to Dana after the bowl game. I said, hey, bro, what are you doing, man? You're getting in the damn huddle on me. And he goes, yeah, so that's what he's come up with, which I think is a good idea on his 4-minute offense. All right? Is he's almost huddling them, but still holding the clock, all right, to where they're not spending time at the line of scrimmage. They're breaking the huddle with 10 seconds left, getting on the ball, all right, and going, all right, because that's what their kids are used to, all right. So instead of standing out there letting the clock run, you're running the game, right? You're telling your quarterback, run the clock, run the clock, run the clock. Let's all kind of gather back here for a while. I'll call the same play or whatever. Let's hold it. Just tell your quarterback in 10 seconds, all right, let's go, boom. Get him on the ball, and now you're still in that kind of hurry-up tempo. So, I mean, I don't have an answer to your,
You're going to the screen game, the keys. Those are just when you go to spread. You better realize there's some thought processes with you. Like the keys is just like a toss to me. There's no difference in throwing key than trying to throw the old toss. Okay, because it's still on the perimeter. It's safe. It's an easy throw, and we're gonna do our thing. You know what I mean? I wouldn't worry about all that.
What percentage of what's your breakdown of pass, the ball screen, the run?
All right, good. All right, so I'll show you. This is install 1, install 2,
Are we going to take
install 3. Jack, you can go to the bathroom anytime you want. All right? In fact, I'm going to just grab this just so I can remember everything. All right? So I put no, not yet. All right? I'm just showing here is that I did my whole install for the season sitting on a plane. Okay? So here's install 1. All right?
So I just typed it in, so I just didn't want to miss anything. So let's say this, all right? I'm going to have run. This is how my brain thinks, all right? I'm going to have play action. I'm going to have quick game. I'm going to have concepts, past concepts. All right? And I'm going to have movement and miscellaneous. Okay, so I'll show you just for this last season what I had, all right? So I said, okay, so now this is the same all the way across. All right, so install 1 was Zorro, all right, which is also 912, and it was Detroit, okay, which is draw, which is 910, and it was slip, okay? There's no number for slip. All right, so that was my runs, all right? The next day, install 2 was shark or stretch, okay, which was 926. All right, whatever the numbers are didn't mean anything. Okay, it was my G, which was giants, and it was jet sweep. Okay, and my last one was maybe power and lead. Okay, so there was the 3 installs right there for pass. Okay, so then I did my play action after this. I said, okay, I got to have my play action off of Zorro, which is act, which is 812. Okay? God, there is no play action. If I didn't have a play action, if you want to play action off of Detroit, have one on slip. Yeah, it was Rio Lobo slip. Okay? So these matched. Slip is divide zone. Slice. No, slip is just this. Two back run. Okay? So you're getting green. Just that right there, okay? Which was a good play action deal for us. Okay? For which back?
For the running back.
Same as Zorro. Same exact.
But no,
all right?
you put Detroit and you put it in the stick, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of does its own play action carry with it.
Okay, so my quick was 95 because all my quick game was 90s. All right? Well, 95 fits with Detroit, so it's 95, Detroit 95. Okay, this is 910. I don't know if my writing's not very good. And then I went 99. I'm just putting examples up here. We can talk about all these plays if you want. Okay, my concepts were okay, for the first day, let me find them here. Okay, wait. Play action, act, Rio slip, 90, 95 was my quick game. Okay, Exxon, Daytona. I tried to have a snag game, a vertical game, a Y cross game, caddy, okay, and China. Okay. My movements were, well, off my runs was cowboy, the boot, all right, and, whoops, I forgot, screens. All right, and my screens this day was rocket laser. Okay, so anyway, long story short, that was that day's install 1. Okay, so I went to install 2. All right, what's my play action off a stretch? Well, it was hustle. Okay, all right, what's my answer on giants? Well, it was comet. All right. Jet sweep is jet sweep. Had nothing off that. Quick game maybe was 90. All right, 94. Okay, concepts now. Well, let's get a snag game in there. Chevron. All right, let's get a curl game. Honda. All right, let's get. Hold on. Oh, let's get our mesh in. Mercedes. Okay, and then we put in chair. Anyway, so it kept going like this. So anyway, what you got is you got 3 game plans. All right? So you build your offense. There's install 1, install 2, install 3. All right. This is a third down day. This is a red zone day. This is a third down day. All right? So that's how you think of your whole offense in 3 parts. All right? Broken down by my runs, so I get all my runs in, my play action off of the runs that are going in that day, my quick game, you know, if there was a quick game that fit into a run, I had to make sure that went in that day. My concepts, make sure I had one of you know, I had a snag game, I had a vertical game, I had a, you know, 3-level flood, all right, and I had a cover 2 beater. All right, I had a snag game, I had my curl game going in, I had my mesh here, all right, I had a 3x1, you know, cover 2 beater, whatever, okay? So once you built this with your whole offense, so it's usually about 6 to 8 runs, okay? Usually about 6 quick games, my screens, all right, and then total, all right, there's about 12 concepts. Okay, so there's the whole offense. Divide it by 3, install it how you want on each day. All right, so is everybody with me on that? Okay, so now here's my first day. In fact, I got them right here. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so here's install 1. All right. Trio, Zorro, key 1, bass play for us. All right. Trio, F quick, Zorro. All right. This is Zorro weak. This is Zorro strong. All right. All right. Comet. All right, dual, Zorro, strong, okay, key 2, all right, dual.
Strong and weak, the same thing as even and odd?
No, strong and weak means that I'm running it to the field or to the boundary, okay, so if I'm trio right, I'm running Zorro, quarterback got to know that's Zorro weak away from the strength. If I'm dual right, I'm on the left hash, and I'm calling Zorro, he knows that's Zorro strong to the field and my key is into the boundary. Okay? So just kind of told the quarterback and me where's the key and where's the play, where's the running going to. Alright? Alright. F quick. Zorro weak. Alright? Key 3. Okay? So there's my Zorro runs for that day. Alright? Basic lineup in trio right, run Zorro weak, go a key 1. All right, now getting trio right, go F quick, okay, run Zorro strong, and throw the little comet to the quarterback, to the F back, okay. So that was my 2 3x1 looks, all right. My 2 duals were just dual right, Zorro strong, key into the boundary. Now dual right, F quick, Zorro weak, comet, okay. Now I want to go 2x, so I just go blue or green. All right, tear, okay, Zorro, weak, comet, okay, or I go blue and green, fast, Zorro strong, comet, okay. So if you look at this and I'm always thinking of the players in the O-line, okay. Trio right, all right, trio right, Zorro weak, key for the quarterback, all right. Dual right, F quick, Zorro weak, all right, key 3. Blue green tear, all right, Zorro weak, comet, okay. 3 exactly the same plays, but like Jack said, don't change the play, change the presentation. One I lined up in it, one I brought the F quick, one I sent the tear. To the quarterback and everybody, it's the exact same play, all right. But the defense has got to defend 3 different things, all right. Now just line up in dual, okay. Now I want to be able to run Zorro to the field and throw the key into the boundary. All right, well I can do it by dual, Zorro, I can go blue or green fast, create dual, all right? So you guys see it's just the same reps over and over for his guys, you know?
I like the whole system because D words are 2x2, T words are 3x1. That's all I need to know. I don't really give a crap. I just like to know it's 3x1 because they're going to adjust the defense. 2x2 they're going to line up balance. I got a shot. Pre-snap reading stuff.
Okay, Detroit, 95, always out of 3x1. Draws always out of 3x1. Okay, I've dicked with it out of dual and all that. It just was too easy. All right, so I didn't even do it. Okay, then Rio slip, blue and green, slip. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There were the 8 runs. All right, that were scripted for that day, and that's all that gets called. The whole day. Okay? So yeah, so as I create
I mean, actually, this is exactly how that game plan for that day looked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, down to 28. And like I said, 28 is not a magic number. That's just where I'm comfortable at. Okay? Okay? All right, now, what's my play actions off all these? Okay? Well, I'm going trio right, F quick. I got to protect trio right, F quick. Trio right, F, or trio F quick, all right? Cowboy, Seattle. Okay, so I'll kind of explain that here. So I'm running this play right here. Trio right. Okay, I'm throwing the key right there. Okay, well now, I want to protect, like he said, from that happening. Besides just throwing my keys. All right, so I want to move the pocket. So now it's the boot off it. Looks like key 2. Run the 3-level flood out there. Okay? So in my mind, when I'm game planning these things, I'm thinking, okay, I'm trying to fix the problems that's going to happen to me in the course of the game. I'm running frickin' trio Zorro key 2, trio Zorro key 2, or key. I mean, however you want to build this out here. You could put him on this, him on that. You know, I'm just trying to make it look like the key 1 play. All right, now all of a sudden it's here, and oh fuck, it's cowboy. All right. So now you guys saw on film yesterday, all these suckers are doing this, trying to stop the keys. All right, that's an answer to my key. Okay, out there. That would be cowboy odd. All right, cowboy odd, because the line knows we're going left, just like it was Zorro odd. All right. All right, so maybe my 2 cowboys are going to be, I'm sorry, I said trio. All right, trio, cowboy odd, Seattle, and what's the other way I'm running it? Dual F quick, cowboy, Seattle. Okay? So, now I'm motioning to the 3x1, I still get that same thing. I've got this, I'm running cowboy. Okay, so there's my move the pocket off my base run. All right? Let me see what else we got here. Okay, so let's go through and all look at this. All right, I can call cowboy there. I really can't call cowboy and trio F quick. Okay, dual, I could call cowboy, but but that's more playboy to me, not cowboy. So that holds on to install 2. F quick, I can call it. I can go blue green.
So what makes one more playboy than cowboy?
We're not pulling anybody on playboy. It's true naked.
When you were saying this play here is more playboy to you than cowboy.
Well, because when you're in 2x2,
yeah.
Okay, when you're 2x2, all right, I want just true naked. So 2x2 is. Well, let's finish this thought first. Sure. Okay, all right. So I go tear, cowboy. Okay, so you guys is it all meshing together there? It's the same frickin' play every time, right? But just like my runs, I'm tying all the motions into it. All right, that's why it's important is that you got to make the defense stop your run and stop your key or your comma throws out there. And everything builds off that to me. Okay? All right. Playboy might go in day 2. Okay? The difference in Playboy is we're not pulling anybody. So that's true. That's true naked, all right? That's Playboy. Usually this goes in when I'm running the slips or things like that, all right? So I know this is kind of a little disjointed. I'm just trying to get you the idea of how I think about it, all right? So if I get past 28 and I still got stuff I got to put in, well, look, we ain't running this today, all right? Okay? I don't want to be like I got too much volume to run. Okay? So then you go, so now start building all the rest of your offense. All right, wait, I got to put my rocket screen in today. Okay? Well, because I got rocket. Well, I know this is a base run for me, right? Blue tear, Zorro odd. Blue tear, Zorro odd. Zorro weak. Common. Okay? Okay? Blue tear, Zorro weak, rocket. all right? Blue tear, Zorro weak, cowboy, all right? Blue tear, what's my quick game? 95, all right? Blue tear, all right? Rio, 95. Okay, now I got a quick game in that look. So to me, the defense is saying, fuck, that guy goes in motion. I just can't stop the run in the comet. I got to stop bootleg. I got to stop quick game. I can go tear. I can throw 95 or Y caddy, whatever. So you're just kind of building everything on there. And what it helped me was the guys were as a play caller, all right, I can like adjust to that. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm going blue tear and I'm freaking running Zorro and I'm throwing a comet and they're freaking spinning the safety down to take the comet away and they're going cover 3 because they want to keep guys in the box. My first thought is cowboy. If that's their adjustment to my tear motion, it's cowboy because now I'm going 3-level flood versus cover 2. Okay? If the next thought is, shit, they're staying in split safeties and they're trying to bump the backers to my comet motion, okay, my first thought is tear 94 or tear 95. Quick game. All right, because there's 2 high safeties. All right, they've expanded windows out there. Now, so screw that. I'm going to throw 95 or I'm going to throw just straight 94 with tear motion. All right, because this cat right here is doing that to take away the comet, and Mike has to stay in the A gap. So he's created a void for me right there. So those are things that, like, game, as the game's going, you feel so good about your offense, you know exactly what next play to go to, all right, or how to make the adjust. Or the guy up top is saying, Coach, no, they're rolling the freaking cover 3 on all comets. All right, my first thought is, shit, we got to throw cowboy, all right? Or they're bumping the backers. All right, we got to throw double slant, or we got to throw stick route, all right? So, build your deal, all right, and try to keep sameness in your offense, all right? Sameness in your offense, so you're not just going, I mean, we've all called plays, right? I mean, it's really freaking overrated, to be honest with you. Just call a play, figure out what they're trying to do to stop your play, all right, and then go from there. So I can't sit there on Wednesday and figure out what I should be calling against this defense when I ain't even played them yet. I don't care what the film says. I get an idea, you know, how we're going to set it up because they're either a 3 down front, they're a 4 down front, they're a split safety defense or a post safety defense, or they're a blitz team. End of story, okay? But I got my answers to what I see during the game. So that's like when I start out the first couple drives, all right, I want them to know you guys got to stop this, all right? I'm going to show them a comet. I'm going to show them a tear, show them a fast, show them an F quick so I know what their adjustment is. Now I know where I can go from there. Does that make sense to you guys?
Joe, trying to work as far as the scout from a high school perspective, okay, and you look at you going through game plan, how you work with scouts.
Okay, we don't draw cards.
Period, okay.
Don't draw cards, all right? So all we do is if let's say they're a 4 down front, and they're an over and an under team, okay? Or they're always 3 technique to the back, okay? I mean, these are the things, this is what I watch the film for, to see if there's something in there when they play spread teams, how does this D coordinator want to play a spread team? Say they're, just to make it simplicity, all right, let's just say they're a 4 down front, all right? They always play the 3 technique to the back, all right? And they play split safeties, cover 4, all right? So I got one guy that he handles the front, okay? So all he does is he stands back there, because remember, we're like on the ball. He sees where the back is, and he says, if the back's on the right, he says, right, right, right. The scout team, the 4 down guys, they know if they hear right, the 3 techniques on the right, the shade's on the left. If they hear left, 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 that guy goes to 3 technique, this guy goes through shade, all right? Backers know what gaps you got. And then I got a guy in the back that he's just giving the coverage, all right? 4, 4, 4. They know it's quarters. Okay? So maybe this team, like Stanford, wants to be a cover 4 team, but when we motion to 3 by 1, all right, want to roll down to play cover 3. All right? Well, the back end guy, that's what he has to tell your guys. Hey, look at, because he knows because I've scripted the plays. So the guy running the scout team goes, okay, we got an F quick coming here. Hey, they're going to go in motion. You guys spin this to cover 3. All right? Hey, and if those guys aren't in the exact same right spot, I could really give a shit, because in the game, they ain't never in the freaking right spot anyway. They aren't. I mean, you're snapping a ball and you got defensive tackles that are still doing this, still trying to line up. All right? So we're actually practicing more what we'll see in a game than stop. I'll make sure you're in a 3 technique. And the O-line coach is standing, behind the offense, and he's yelling at those guys, get your ass in a 3 technique, tighter. And, they're doing all that stuff. But the defense, and once you train your scout team, they go. I mean, they go. All right? Sometimes they give us a bad look. We get bad looks in games.
There's something that you talk a lot more about going faster, and I guess my question is, how are you getting signals on what, and how are you practicing?
Okay, all right, so number one is I did the wristbands, okay, slowed me down, okay. I did everybody looking for signals, slowed me down, okay, because everybody, I know you guys have all tried all this stuff, right? Okay, all the receivers look over here. I'm going to give you the signal, all right? So they're looking over here, and they get the signal, and then they go, what was it? What'd you get? Well, is that curl? Yeah, and then so they're talking, right? Because some of the guys ain't, and they just freaking ran 3 go routes in a row, and they're jogging back, and they get set, and they miss it, and they go, what do we got? What do we got? Okay? So we just want them to get back and get set, all right? All the receivers are looking for, all right, is the formation signal. Okay? Now they can look at the quarterback or they can look at the sideline. All right? Because our signal guy, if it's dual right, he's doing this. All right? The receiver coach is doing this. He's looking at his guys. All right? Freaking backup quarterback's doing this. The quarterback's doing this. All we want to do is just get them lined up. All right? So that's all they have to worry about. Okay? So as they're running back, they're just they may see the quarterback dual right. They may be on the sideline with our sideline. They may look over and say, "Oh shit, it's dual right." Now the outside guys never have to worry about shit because they line up on the same side every time. All they got to do is run their route and get back to where they were and line up again. Okay, it's really the F and the Y that build the formations. Okay. All right, so once they get lined up, then every receiver is eyes on the quarterback. Okay, so when I get lined up, man, I'm looking right at him. Okay, and I'm waiting for him to tell me what I have to do. Okay, so if we're in dual left and it's me and Jack, although I probably wouldn't play Jack at X. All right.
Good luck at that.
Okay, so here's the thing when you start this that you got to start with your guys. All right, is open your frickin' mouth. Okay, when you see it, all right, say something. So I look out, and here's the quarterback, and we just call dual left, Zorro odd, all right, key 1. Okay? So that quarterback just got this, okay, that's Zorro. He got this, that. All right? So all he got was dual right, boom, boom. All right? So he saw that from the signal guy. All right? So the first thing he does is tell the receivers what to do. So he just goes, boom. All right, Zorro odd, or 9-12 odd. Or 9-13, however you guys, whatever verbiage you want to use. We get real paranoid about the defense knowing our words, which is a little bit overrated, I mean, I asked the defensive kids at the end of spring ball, what were you guys picking up? What keys you were picking up? And Vontez Burfleck, all right? Vontez says, Coach, I'm just trying to get my ass lined up, I mean, he's not, odd. So if you've trained your quarterback good, he knows in the game plan, when I say dual Zorro key, all right, is he knows it's Zorro strong, key to the boundary. So I really don't have to give him anything. Now, if you got a kid that can't decipher all that, if that's Zorro, that's always Zorro even, that's Zorro odd. All right, Zorro even, Zorro odd. So if it was a new quarterback, my signal guy just go, hey, run Zorro odd, key 1. Okay, so he'd come up and say Zorro odd or Zorro cold or Zorro south or whatever your words are. Okay, and he just looks out of here and he goes like that. Anything on the body is a key. Okay, any 2 things to the body, all right, is the lock off the keys. So if you went like that, that's lock 1. If you went like that, that's lock 1. There's key 3. Okay, there's comet. Okay, there's lock comet. Okay? Two hands tells them. Okay? We used to go key 1, all right? But the kids know it so well, so if I've told you every time I touch my head it's key 1, and you're an outside guy, I just go, right? You know, so I'm the inside guy, all right? Yeah, he'll go like this, hey, hey, hey. All right, it's key 1. We know it's key 1 out here. Okay? Does that kind of help? Okay. Now, the next thing you have to do is when you build your pass concepts. Okay. So any number from the quarterback is quick game. So if I tell Jack that's double slant, okay, that's go pressure out, man beater, okay, and that's slant flat. So if I look out to him and just go boom, all right, or I may go here, all right, or I may go here because I'm going to the body for my keys. I really let the kids they come up with the best stuff, all right. Here's the play, fucking come up with a signal, all right. And I tell you, they get good at it. Is like if it's key 2, it's so subtle now. Half the time I'm going, did he signal him? Did he signal him? You know, because he'll just go like that. You know, he'll just go boom. All right, here we go. You know, it's key 2, right? Or he'll go, you know, or go to his face mask. You know, key 1 or whatever. Okay, so they'll become very subtle with it. All right. So the thing you have to do is in your concepts. And here's just an example. Okay. We're at dual right. Okay, and we want to run caddy, or for you Hal Bummy guys, 95. Okay? Okay, caddy. Well, caddy we know this. Go route. Okay? 5-yard hitch, quarterback gives me we call it a grab route. I pull the wheel out, all right? Under 1, over 2, fine grass, right? Working at 22 yards deep on the numbers, that angle. But just get your ass open in there someplace for me, okay? Post curl, okay? Check, swing, okay? So there's dual right. So the quarterback, this is all he would get from the sideline. Hey, dual right, dual right, dual right. He just get, that's caddy. He go from the sideline. So he goes dual right, dual right, dual right. Now they even just freaking, you know, boom, boom, like this. So he's telling everybody caddy. He's saying, okay, it's caddy. All right. Told the line, all right, the quarterback knows, well, wait, it's dual caddy. I need to back to the tight end side. He'd say, Lou. He's always going to make a call to send his line away from the back. Lou. Okay. I'm sorry. Lion. And we'll talk about this in protections for a second because I think it's pretty good where our protection in 2x2 is different than it is 3x1 because of how the defense sets up. Okay, so that's the play. So all you get is, you know, caddy. If you're to Y, you and Y, you got the post curl. You're the Y, you got that. You get this right here. Boom. Backside caddy. He knows he's got go. He's got grab. Okay. They don't even really have to know if they're play side or backside. Okay. Trio right. All right. Now it's Ron protection. Okay, Ron protection, because the quarterback knows he needs to back over here, so he goes trio right, trio right. Hey, Ron. Caddy, caddy. All right, well, everybody runs the same thing. Okay? So when F sees this, he don't give a fuck where he lines up. He's running the grab route. Okay? If you do it out of green, all right, he knows caddy, I'm swing. I'm always swing. He does his same thing, swing. So there's the same play out of 3 different formations just by, boom, doing this. Okay? So basically, I'll give you one more example. Honda, which is our curl game. Hey, Honda, all right? Our base concept, Honda, curl, choice. This is really Y option. He's really trying to sell the caddy in option, okay? Curl, okay? 99% of the time we want except for F shack, we want the T. Quarterback knows T is always protecting away from F. Okay? Okay? Well, I know I got wheel. I got curl. I got check swing. Okay? Run it out of,
Say that one more time, Lucy, you said it quick on your, 99% of the time, T is always blocking away from F.
away from F. Yeah. Except for F shack. Okay? Alright. Call it out a trio. So when F sees this, he knows he's always got flat wheel. Okay? When Y sees this, he knows he's always got Y option. When Y sees this, he knows he's always got cross. When Y sees Mercedes, he knows I always set the mesh. X knows I see Mercedes or single receiver side, it's always X. It's not always the same guy, but it's that position. I'm setting the mesh. Okay? F, you always know if I see Mercedes, I always got basic. Okay? Back. If it's dual, I'm swing. Okay? I'm corner route. Okay? There's Mercedes out of dual. There's Mercedes out of dual right there. Do it out of trio. Okay? So it's just, no, it's all consistency on if you can keep your concepts the same. Now, that's kind of like the base concepts of what you're doing. You know, Honda, Mercedes, Caddy, Chicago, all right, those are all base concepts, okay? And then you have side-by-side concepts. So this builds up your 12 concepts. So if I gave those signals to my guys, the ones I just went over, they would know exactly what to do wherever they lined up at. Okay? Y knows he sees this, he's got Y cross. I don't give a shit where you line them up at. Make sense? Okay? Okay. Now you get into your snag game, your China, you get into the other 6 concepts. Okay? Now I'm going side, it's like mirrored concepts, right? All right? I'm telling these guys what to do and I'm telling these guys what to do. Okay? Which is like, a great example is like Chevron. Okay? So if I call Chevron, okay? Chevron, if I look to you guys out there and you're on the right side, and it can be the X and the F, or it could be the Y and the Z, it could be whatever, but I look out to you guys over there and I go here, okay? That's Chevron. Okay? So you guys know you're doing this. Okay? You two know you're running the Chevron. Okay? Now, what do we want to do on the back side to protect this route? Well, the base way we do it is a two-man concept we call dagger. So the quarterback knows this already. So the quarterback from the sideline is just getting this. Say it's dual right. He goes dual right, boom. So he goes dual right, hey. Okay, L. I need the back over here, right? I need the back over here. So which way I got to send the line that way? Then he'll just look at the backside and go dagger. That concept is dagger. So we've got like 3 concepts back there. This is for Mike fitting the snag. We're trying to throw that. Well, let's say they're playing quarters, and this guy's playing the hell out of this. All right? So he may look back there and say, no, let's run bend. Okay? So now we're running it off of this guy. We're running bend. If Will's underneath, he's still the grab route. Okay? So he go, hey, Chevron, hey, bend it for me. Okay? I mean, you could go frickin' 90 on the backside if you wanted. Okay? I'm just looking for a route back there is if Mike goes and fits my snag. Okay? I want to attack the Will backer on the backside. Okay? So the quarterback knows when he takes his drop and he's thinking snag, if Mike fits it, I just want him to go 1, 2 to the backside. Okay? Whether it's the dagger, whether it's the bend, okay? I mean, it could be freaking curl flat on the backside if you wanted to. He just knows that there's only one guy left back over there that I'm throwing a route off of. So it's a two-man concept on him. Is that?
How does it work with emotion?
Okay, so here. We'll stay right in the Chevron world right now. Let's say we're going to do it this way. Okay, so this is now how you're building your stuff. Okay. Okay, so we're going to run this route. I mean, we're going to run this play. F quick. Okay. F quick right there. All right, well, I want to pass off of this because I'm going to go dual right, F. So he's going to look at, you're the F. Okay, I got you at F and Jack at X. I got no freaking chance. All right? So he's going to look, he's going to go dual right. He's going to go F quick. Okay? You know whenever you see F quick, you're coming in quick motion. All right? And you're going to bubble. All right? Expect a football. Now, the key to his motion is this. Okay? As he comes across, our snap point is outside leg of the tackle. So that's what the quarterback's doing. All right? So usually the quarterback, you do this in backfield, you do it enough. The quarterback, remember, he's going to, whenever it's quick means quick snap count too, right? So when he does this, he knows there's going to be about a second delay in this. So probably about 2 yards or so outside that tackle, all right? He'll bring him, and then he'll ask for the football, okay? When he comes in motion, all right, and this is kind of a small thing, but I think it's important, is the motion guy, when he hits the tackle, outside leg, he starts to bend back to that quarterback. All right? And what we tell him is we want you 2 yards in front of the quarterback. All right? And then as he gets to the quarterback, I want him to flip his shoulders at the quarterback. So as I'm coming here, I want him, when he gets to the quarterback, to turn his shoulders like this to the defense. All right? Then he just bubbles, and he's on the swing. Okay? Because we're going to give it to his ass once in a while. All right? Toss it, because it's an incomplete pass. All right, so if I'm F give, he's got F quick, F give, F ghost. Okay, F quick. All right, boom. Right here, I get to the quarterback, turn my shoulders. All right, if he gives me the football, he gives it to me. I always expect it. All right, he doesn't give it to me, I'm swing. Okay, if I tell you F give, I'm telling you I am giving it to you. Okay, same thing. He gets here, he turns his shoulders. Quarterback just takes it and just tosses it up in the air, we grab it and go. Okay? F ghost, he starts the same place, he hits that tackle's outside leg, now he's going to go behind the quarterback. So there's his 3 motions. Okay, they're all quick. Okay? So on all those, he might be going F ghost, but he's telling the line, quick, quick, quick. Okay? It's all F quick type motions, just he's in a different place. So he would go like this. Hey, let's go dual right, F quick. All right, F quick. Hey, let's go chevron. All right, dagger. Same thing you do in dual. Okay. Well, I'm going to get that point right now. All right. So now, when you game plan this, okay, well, I'm trying to get this. All right, well, if Mike Backer fits that and I'm trying to throw that on the backside, I need somebody to control the Will Backer, right? Okay, so the game plan that week, when we put it in, we want to run chevron out of dual F quick. Well, our protection now has to be hustle. Okay? Hustle. Okay? Hustle. We always direct the line, all right? Hustle even. So it looks like the stretch play that way. All right? So the quarterback's going to bring the F quick. The F quick's going to go. He's going to freaking ride the hustle. He's going to come back. He's going to throw the chevron. All right? He's going to see what the Mike's doing. He doesn't even look at the hustle. He just kind of boom here. All right? He's seeing what the Mike Backer does.
So what would you say to the line right there?
He would say hustle. All right? Even. Okay? That tells the line that they are. It's just like dual. They are 4 down. Okay? They are 4 down, backs on this side, hustle even. They're blocking away from where the back is. All right? So they're 4 down. You got the Will. You guys got the Mike and the Sam.
You're not communicating hustle to the quarterback?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But here's what I'm saying is, I practiced that the whole week during the week. He knows when he sees dual right F quick chevron, like Brock knows, oh fuck, that's hustle even or hustle odd. Okay, if he didn't want to, I think they go like, the signal is like he goes hustle. Or
I'm jumping around, but is chevron protecting the stretch for you pretty much like a key jar?
Yeah, well, so what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to protect the stretch from who? Because I know Jack can get this blocked. Okay, he starts to bump in the box, right? Mike's sitting there. Okay, Mike's the B gap player right there, A gap player. All right, we're going to run the stretch. Like that, all right? And we've attached a comment to it, Okay, this is what Jack was alluding to. His besides throwing key screens, throwing some quick game stuff. Okay. Well, as this happens, he's just looking at the mic. When the mic just mirrors the back, because that's hard for that sucker to get him, isn't it, Jack?
Hard.
That's hard for him to get that guy if you're trying to zone that, or maybe you're pulling to it like the Missouri does, or whatever. All right, the quarterback's just going to go. Here it comes. Freaking Mike's running. Bam! He's going to just throw this snag route right there. Okay, so just a way to protect stretch. Okay, if he didn't want that, if we just said, hey, let's just make it a drop back, so he didn't give him hustle, quarterback would know I got to set the back this way. Okay, it's raw on protection. Here comes the F quick. There's snag. Your check swing. Everybody's still doing the same stuff. Okay, is that making sense?
Yeah, a lot. If you're throwing that quick in off that down, straight,
Not watching the end.
That's why I like what I didn't do what Jack did. That's why I like what Jack did. All right, is it when they're coming down, right, on the pass stuff, okay, is there being slower on that, okay? Right, but you got to understand now. Here's this backside end, okay, and we've handed off the stretch, all right, and we're gone, and that freaking end is, he's not rushing the quarterback, he's chasing the back. All right, so it's just and now this is a quick throw. This is just boom, ball. All right, it's out so quick that even that fold guy's not even downfield, and that ball's out of the quarterback's hands. All right, because that snag's just coming in there. That Mike's gone. He's just giving the eye. Or you could tag it with stick. All right, whatever you wanted over there, just stick like we do on draw. Okay.
if I watch a game, what different plays?
Let's put. Well, I tell you what. Here in a second, let's put on a game and just watch a game. You guys want to do that? Just kind of all the way through.
What different plays in hustle is running? I mean,
On hustle, my best play is verticals. Okay, that was an example right there. All right, that's not. I mean, I don't do that a bunch. The best. Here's the best play. Here's the best play out of hustle I run. All right, as I send him in Z quick motion. Okay, and I run because I like to do this. I like to go here, Z quick, get this to happen to shorten the edge. All right, and run hustle stretch play that way. Okay, that's one of our base stretch ways to run stretch, right there. Okay. So the hustle would be here, hustle, and we're going to go 4 verts. Hustle. Okay, off it. Because all these backers, man, they're running this way.
are we going hustle odd right there?
That would be hustle odd, because now that tell you guys, right? You're 4 down, Mike to Sam. All you got is that outside guy if he was to come.
Man, hustle even.
Hustle odd, on the line to go left.
I don't want the line in the back, so I'll go in this way. Remember, direct your line.
It's got a wrong way run there to it. It's got the line going one way, it's got that wrong way run type thing.
Well, it's no difference, right? What screws you up is the back's over here, and you're thinking the lines, but the back's coming across to block the wheel backer.
No, one of the biggest questions I had, and I know you haven't hit it probably yet, is sync on protection. Where the wheel is outside and the mic is in the box, and we might have a Lou call where we think it's the center, it's a 4-2 front, let's say, but they cover 3, the safeties are down. I would think it's the center, I'm supposed to go left on Lou, not thinking Will, but the mic's in the box, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, you start first backer to the left, inside out. So if you were, that's why.
Because that's not kind of a rule breaker, you know what I mean, that one look?
Okay, so you're saying we're in dual?
We're in dual.
Okay, so we're like this. Okay, what are they in?
4-2. They roll it, they recover 3 though. Both safeties are down.
Well, I can't like that, right?
All right, now, yeah, like that. Okay? So we're in loop protection right now.
We wouldn't block Lou, we block ram and lion.
Okay.
Okay? Ram and lion. So these guys, it's just like Zorro.
Okay.
Okay? All right? Right there. Just like Zorro, ram and lion. Okay? Oh shit. Here comes this guy. What's he call? Alert. What's the center say? West. All right? Now they just straight gap it off. All right? I know there's 4 guys over there. All right? I know there's 4 guys over there, but you got to understand now is that they can't bring those 4 guys. They got to have somebody to cover the F, right? So he's got to come out of the middle.
Here's the picture I was talking about. Right here. It's Ron Lou. See the will? And you had the solid call in there?
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Unless he gets, this would be Ron, yeah, well he made, okay, so, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's
This is all the center would do. Here's what's kind of screwed this up, and those pictures were drawn from being under center, from Greg's old playbook. Here's what's different is the center can still make a middle call, which would solid him to the mic. All right? So, because here's the course of argument. All right? Is at what point does this guy become the backs? When do you think he becomes the backs? It's a fucking world. It's been a problem forever.
Yeah, it's been $1 million question.
Yeah. When does he become the back? Is he in the A gap? Is he over the center? Is he in the weak side A gap? Where does he become the back?
I don't like it when he's on the other side of the ball.
Right. So all we do is we say, look at center. Anything from here that way is your guys. Okay. So this could be the 3 technique here, and the mic sitting right there in the A. Even though it's 4 down to the will, he's going to say, hey, middle, unless I get an alert call. If you're getting an alert call, you better be going out to it. Because if you're getting an alert call and they're bringing the saw blitz, all right, this freaking mic backer's got to cover the back. I mean, they got to have one of those guys in there's got to be covering somebody.
So that's basically why it's more of a 4-3 thing with the mic was displayed.
If you look at that, if you look at that, and that's drawn, the tight end's attached. Yeah.
And he called it middle.
Yeah, we made a middle call. Right.
I'm with you now. I couldn't figure that out for the life of me looking at it. Middle call.
When you alert, and you call west or east, not everybody's going.
No, it just means the center.
Center to that side.
And here's what it means, and Jack could probably explain this better, all right? It means the tackle saying this, I got a 5 technique on me, but that some bitch is coming, okay? Alert. That means I have to go block this guy. So that alerts the guard. If this guy's coming through the C gap, that guy better be going through the B gap. So that just tells the guard, all right, hey, east. Now I got to step to the B gap because this 5's going to come to me. All right, tells the center, as that guard's leaving me, man, I'm probably got the shade because he's the A gap guy. All right, so basically it's gap protection, right? From there over. It's just a gap protection from here over. That's all east and west means.
When we were on the East Coast, the Connecticut kids started calling Big East when the left guard was involved in the East because it was an odd.
Right, and if he's uncovered, the backside guard, he's involved in the...
So now they told, the center would say East, East, and they see the guard would come and say Big East, Big East. And the big guy would come over with him. He'd be involved in the East.
So here's what... here's an example.
Make sure we do, so we didn't have that shape that's in the gap when nobody walked.
Here's an example. He just did it. It's a push call. Same thing on Zorro, okay? So you're sitting here and you're in protection. Okay? You're in ram protection, ROM protection, it doesn't matter. This happens. Okay? Alert, alert, alert. Okay? East, east, east. Well, he's involved in the east call. Because he's uncovered, just like he is in Zorro, all right? So these guys know, I mean, all this could happen right there, right? They know, man, they got to push all that out. The easiest rule I've ever heard in 3 down looks, if the kids can understand this, all right, the line can understand this, in 3 down looks, they learn always leave one for the back. All right? So here they're thinking, all right, I'm always leaving him for the back. If it was 3-2, always I'm leaving him for the back. Okay? So now he knows, shit, if that's an east call, I can't leave. All right? Because I got that cat, so I'm solid on him. Okay? If it's a
You know, if he walks up to come like that, he got the alert, okay, and they're either going to fan jack or they're going to duel that guy to the other side.
When you're vertical set, it's easier to fan it. The tighter your protection, the more you have to use duel. So when you watch NFL guys, they slide and take everything firm a lot. They're going to duel a guy out. What we're trying to get to eventually is we're getting more depth on our set, setting firm at the depth no wants them, but that buys us time to push our eyes and fan. That's why I'm a vertical set guy. That's why he likes vertical set. To me, the more we learn to vertical set, everything slows down. Everything slows down. It's a big picture for the offensive line. It's very clear to me when I'm getting back, I see the twist. It's like slow motion. The firmer I am to the line of scrimmage, the better athlete I'm going to have up in that line. And when you talk about NFL, they take things first because those are 5 studs. Those are the best 320-pound guys in the world moving up front. But we don't have that. So if I get them a little depth and I teach them how to anchor and sit firm when we set our depth, everything's better.
Plus in the NFL, if you don't get your hands on him, right, Jack?
Yeah.
Quick.
If
you don't get your hands on Dwight Freeney right now, you ain't getting your hands on him. You know, you can vertical set all you want, and he's freaking already by you. That's why they jump set so much stuff.
And the other thing that we talk about protection, we're going to talk about that before after Manolo leaves. But here's the deal: the number one cause of sacks in the NFL is they didn't cover them up. That's the number one reason we give up the sack. So what we deal with in high school, I might have a 6 foot, 200-pound guard. Might have that. Anybody got that in there? Someone lighter than everybody else you play? You got a shot with getting depth and covering them up. Now he might get pushed back, but our quarterback isn't going to get stroked. If we teach them to cover their feet.
You teach them to lose slow.
And by the best way is toes over toes, nose inside.
He's going to lose. Just make him lose slow. At least make that guy run over him.
And we'll go in knowing that. And he would cowboy and he would move the pocket a little bit to help that kid. But we're going to cover their feet. And you can't teach a young guy to cover his feet if that guy's a stud. A lot better athlete than that.
You guys we're kind of jumping around here. Any more questions?
Coach, you doing withdrawal and how you kind of pair the stick and how you teach your quarterback?
Yes. Great play. My top 3 play I like. All right. Detroit 95. Okay. Stick draw. All right. We always run out 3-by-1. You can run out 2-by-2. I've dicked with it and put pressure outs, but the quarterback just loved it this way. All right. So these guys know in draw, they've got 4 down to will. Always. Okay? End of story. So just say they're playing us like this.
No, as you're drawing that, will you line up some 2-by-1 in motion, common motion tear or something to get the 3-by-1 to run that like this?
Yeah, I'll do it in blue and green, and I'll free a guy.
Free and travel?
Yeah. I'll take. Well, usually it's always so what he means is I'll put the F in blue and green, and I'll free this guy at the snap and run the draw. All right, same thing, just a different look because it's really the same. So he's running stick. He's out. If he was freed, he'd swing. All right. So there's your stick route over here. Okay. On this side, all right, it's whatever you want. Okay. Quick out, hitch. To me, this is the gift. Okay? This guy's freaking 10 yards off and Will's in here and say it's an under front. Alright? It's an under front and this Will's way in there. Alright? And I just want to throw him a hitch. Freaking throw him a hitch. Shit. Make 5 yards. You call run and make 5 yards, he's fired up, right? He's like, call it again. Okay? So, then in here, they're always going to fold it. Okay? So he knows he's vertical set, locked on him. Vertical set, locked on him. Alright? We're always going to fold the shade. So if it was an under front, we're going to fold to this guy. Alright? Because I think the fold, alright, and I may be wrong on this, but I think the fold creates space. It pries it open instead of asking a guy, because like a lot of times you ask an offensive lineman, alright, draw set this guy. all right, and you're trying to create a hole for the running back to go in. Well, all of a sudden this guy starts to cross-face you, and the back doesn't, and he's having to make moves in the backfield. Where here, if he's the backside shade, this center can just set, and he can come off and knock Sean out of there, all right, and we can fold. Plus, it looks more like draw to the three technique, or to the shade, because the guard's setting, and then he's coming around. It looks like pass. So we'll fold that. If the shade was here, we'd fold that guard. So they're always going to fold to the will.
We'll make a UV call and make sure. Sometimes the center comes up. Sometimes it depends on the over or under set.
All right.
We'll let them communicate.
All right. The key to this route is it's straight vertical. All right, and he's got to make it feel like it's vertically for 5 yards. So if he stops before he hits 5 yards, that's the only time I'm yelling at him. So you got to really watch them, because they got to work on it, because they get impatient. They want to come up, and at about 4 yards, they want to start to do this. All right? Don't. All right? Come up, man. Get yourself through 5 yards. The next time you hit that outside foot, stick it in the ground and get your head and eyes around to the quarterback. Okay? So he's a stick. So he's controlling that guy for me. Okay? This guy's controlling that guy for me. Right there. So all the quarterback does, the thing when you first put this in, so like when we go pat and go, I don't know if you guys I was talking about pat and go, okay? That is one of the things we do on the way down when we're doing quick game, is the backs are working their draw step. The back, we deepen them up a little bit, all right? And what we want to do is just turn his shoulders out and be patient, okay? So they have, if the quarterback is like doing this, which is going to happen the first time you do it, I promise. The quarterback's going to set to throw the stick, Mike's going to cover it, he's going to turn it, and the freaking back's going to be gone, all right? That's the back's fault. Okay, you got to wait for the quarterback to give you the ball, which helps the play because there's more upfield by the D line. All right, so all we tell our back is just turn your shoulders outside, bounce twice, and now just step in and wait. Okay, for me to get for the quarterback to hand you the football.
Will you put the back on both sides?
No, always away from the stick. Okay.
If you got your draw call,
Mm-hmm.
and you got your combo with your center and your guard, if you get a slant with that guard, if he's running daylight, is that his rule?
If I get a slant where?
Like if your three technique slants to A.
He's got him.
Right.
He could wrap all the way around. Yes, yes. It's like power. It's like power.
Just so you know,
Exactly.
because of the delay, the hole's big.
Right.
The back sees it all. The guard's got to cover him up, though. I mean, he can't just get beat and whooped. He's got to get in there, and then he's got to work him for width to widen the hole. We know it's a retreat. It's a draw.
Be careful. We say if they got plays, they'll run the gap, but they're
We say run the daylight. We just know that the line's got the will.
Yeah, find the will.
If the line's got the will, you can be slower. You can't really say a gap. I've seen it it can go anywhere, can't it? No?
Yeah.
It goes all over the place.
Okay, quarterback, you catch and set. So you're just here, all right? You get the ball, and he has to look at it, all right? He has to look at it. Now, when they start, all right, he has to make the mic cover the guy. This mic could start doing this, all right? He hasn't covered him. You still throw it, all right? So he just catch. He's running the stick. I just catch, set, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's either freaking open or he's not. I don't care what the defense is doing, all right? If he's not open, then he just sets, gives it to the back, and we run the draw. Easy play, great play.
How many yards do you hope the stick route? How deep is the stick when you get the ball?
Just past 5, through 5. He's got to get to 5 yards. He's got to put it outside foot in the ground and then snap his head around. Yes, yes. Post safety. So this was the whole thing is, all right? So now they go here and they go man. Yeah, they go man. Okay? So they got corner up here, strong safety up here, corner is on that guy, free safety, and the sandbacker. So you're going, oh shit, man. All right? Now, we may game plan it if we're playing a lot of teams like this, all right, that, well, we never get this. We hardly ever get man out of blue and green. The reason is because they don't know, are we going here? Are we going here? Are we going here? Or are we going here with those backs? Well, that's a lot of hoops for the defense to run through.
So maybe if they're a big one free team, I'm going to run my stick out of blue free or green free that week because I'm catching more cover 8 or cover 4. But anyway, to answer your question, all right, quarterback sees that. He knows, shit, I ain't handing the ball off. These guys are still blocking 4 down to will, all right? And if this guy was man, he's playing off, he's throwing a freaking hitch, all right? If he was pressed, we may throw the quick fade to him, okay? He's throwing the football right here. So that's kind of game planned. If I was playing a team that was playing me a ton of free press, one free coverage and trio, then I wouldn't call trio Detroit 95. I'd go green, free, 95, okay?
So do you like this against 3 downs?
Mm-hmm.
3-3 stack?
Yeah.
3-2?
Yeah.
How would you run it against block side?
3-3 stack. These guys right here, coach, they see a lot of 3-3 stacks. I've had that since the day.
We never see 3-3 stack.
You said they was just wrong protection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you work through it. We got the will.
So how they playing trios? What I want to know. How they lining up? You guys see it like that?
They'll try to sneak that stand backer, so you got 2 starters.
So the guy here too, and the guy there.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna see the 3-3, because they got some weapons.
Number 2.
Well, why the hell you calling frickin' draw? Right? Yeah. Call Zorro and throw key ones till their nose bleeds.
They get on the other side, number 2.
Okay, that's fine. It's still it's 3 on 2 out there. Okay, it's 3 on 2. So they've got to get another guy out here. I mean, I'll still throw the stick, right? And however they would do this, boom. Would you just base call that? Probably. I don't know. You'd have to ask the line coach.
Okay, well, what's gonna happen is they're gonna slide to the trip.
Yeah.
That's gonna go to the trip.
I mean,
It looks like a 3-2, like you're gonna slide the box. You're not gonna, from what I've seen, it's 3-3 stack.
That's why
Get it 3x1, like Noel said, to make that balance up look, get unbalanced.
So you guys are seeing this right there.
Yeah, cover 3.
Right there, cover 3. Oh, beautiful. I mean, my first play would be, okay, guys, I know one thing we're going to do. We're going to run F quick Zorro. Okay, I'm going to key this guy. All right, I'm 3 on 2 out here. I could cab it if I wanted, whatever. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make them get guys out of the frickin' box. All right. Okay, the only thing he has to worry about right here is what, Jack? An alert call. Make a west. Okay. Okay, or I'm gonna get in blue and green, and I'm gonna tear a guy, or I'm gonna free a guy. I'm gonna keep building these 3x1, and then I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna throw verticals on them. Okay? Because to me they're playing cover 3. I mean they got issues.
Well, somebody the interior part 6 that they're playing out of shell look, rolling, playing 2 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Man on the backside.
So they still got 6 in the box on me, right?
That's what we're seeing.
Okay, you're seeing this. You're seeing two guys there. That's 7, 8. There's 9. There's 10. And then they walk. Then they got another. Then they got a guy right there. Right there on it. Okay. Okay. Now wait a minute. Wait a minute. So how they lined up when it's like that?
They're rolling pretty back. They'll play like all cross look, and sometimes that free safety will roll down and make it look one night.
Okay, so they're going 4 crossed, which they can only do like that, right? 4 crossed? I mean, I'd have to see it on film. Oh. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I gotta count, guys. All right. So that's how they're playing you.
Still stacked up. They won't play away from.
They stay stacked.
Okay, so they stay stacked.
The boundary, the wheel backer will just be outside the.
They'll play split safety, fill in the top and back, the outside back route.
So it looks like that.
Yes.
You guys ought to be running the hell out of football,
Yeah.
right?
Here's the other thing.
Bang, bang, through, key him. Now, they can put him in and they want to roll this guy down.
In play two.
Okay, all right, still. Through. I don't know how they can roll him down and play two to that side, but
I'm not rolling four. That's sometimes safety's over top, sometimes four is over top.
I like the yeah.
like this?
Exactly.
Like this? Yeah.
And their gaps change on the backside way to the back, on that backside.
Okay, so their gap exchanging, that happens. He's the quarterback, right? He's the quarterback. Huh? He's the quarterback. He's gap exchanging right there. Okay. I mean, my first thought, without really sitting down and figuring out what I wanted to do is, my first thought is I want to create 3x1s. That's my first thought, is I want to create 3x1s and make them get guys out of the box or roll to cover 3. I don't care. All right. Now I can throw my verticals. I can, The next thought is against 3 down fronts is I'm more stretch than I am inside zone. So now you want to run some more stretch stuff.
The thing that happened with 3-man fronts to me is everybody used to say, okay, let's just base them up inside. But guess what? Movement creates this it hurts the O-line. So it's not as easy just to come off and base them up. Yeah, in theory we've got 0, 1, and 2, but there's movement. Stretch is better because we're zoning through our gaps, and when they move, guess what? We watch it all. We're hat on a hat, and we're taking the ball to the perimeter where we got the perimeter blocking they're caught. So but the thing that caught me from the beginning when I was with Noel is he said, we talked about balanced front. The first thing he told me is he gets a 3x1, he's going to display. He's going to make them play in a position they're not comfortable in. That's why he moves them over into a 3-man front.
That's why I think emotions are important. All right, because they still have to have a contingency plan for you're in duel. What happens if F goes in motion? All right, or what happens if I put trio into the boundary on this? Okay, what's your contingency plan? I go Z, F, Y, and that's into the boundary. Okay, and you're going to sit here like this, and I'm not really sure how you're saying. I guess they're doing something like that, but now I'm in a boundary. You gotta move somebody out there. Okay. Now I'm running the Zorro. Okay. Bang. All right. And now I'm key 1 out here into the boundary. Okay. So think of ways that you can get them uncomfortable.
One of the things that and this is just my thought. This isn't a Noel thought. I'm just going to tell you guys real quick. When you see a 3-3 stack, what is it? It's a chaos defense, right? They're bringing it from every position they can bring to put pressure on you, right? So the number one thing that I started out talking about zone was if you have a quarterback that can run, if you just do a little bit of option football, you slow all that blitz down because someone's going to have the quarterback, someone's going to have the dive, and someone's going to have pitch. And anytime we can slow the blitzes down, by taking and giving them assignment football back, guess what? I help my protections because they ain't going to blitz me the same. As soon as they realize you don't have any option whatsoever, and it is option when Noel talks about the key screen, that is an option. But the option of the run also with the quarterback slows the 3-3 crap down because they get their ass gassed. Because all they want to do is they're just trying to bring pressure all over the place. With no rhyme or reason a lot of times. They're bringing it from the outside. They're just pressuring you, especially in high school, right? So now, if you make them play assignments, that's why when first thing he ever said to me, I'm going to get 3x1. I love that idea. Because guess what? I displace them over. He's usually the C-gap player. We move him over. He's in uncharted territory. We've got to guard the B-gap. So those are answers to you guys back. But a little bit of option keep them guys from blitzing you. When I was at Mississippi College, our defense was a 3-3 stack. All right? And we saw it 3 times in that league during the year. We gave us 6 sacks in the whole season. Part of it was because we made people play assignment football. They couldn't line up and be unsound and not slide like he's making them slide because they're not sound that they do, and he knows the answer back. Option football, to me, gives you a little bit of that in high school. You gotta have a running quarterback. If you don't, then to me, that's where his quarterback's 6'8". He's not a runner. So he's keying them. But you've got different answers. You recruited another one that is a runner this year, right, no? So it's all, there's answers in the system, but you gotta make them guys play assignment football too. We're not the only ones that are gonna line up and do it the right way.
Any more questions? You guys want to watch them? Yeah.
Any difference in your give off F quick and jet?
Yes. Okay, give is off Zorro. Okay, jet is, did you guys listen to a guy from Saddleback, McElroy? He's really good at it. If you ever can listen to him talk or get his book or whatever, I mean, everything on the jet sweep, I did off of him. Okay, so there's what we call, these are like freaking efficiency plays to me, all right? So another way to control this, okay, is now it's F give on that thing, all right? So really all the quarterback is he's giving the football. If, let's say that they came up and they were getting that stack, all right, and they walking this guy up on the end of the line of scrimmage, all right? Well, that means he's through, he's blocked it. The quarterback would not give him the football. He'd still run the Zorro. So it's kind of like an option for the quarterback. When he sees the give, he likes to look. The end's been closing hard. The wheel's sitting inside. He just gives it. Oh shit, the wheel's outside. He's still just running F quick Zorro odd. He can give the ball. Now if it's jet sweep, if it's a jet play, okay, now we're really giving him jet sweep. And there's a whole, if you listen to that guy, and I'm not that involved in it, to me it's just every now and then type deal, okay? But if you listen to a guy from Saddleback, he rushes for 4,000 yards a year. He's got all kinds of, he's got all kinds of different schemes. He blocks the perimeter and all that with. But for us, it's just basically, what we're trying to do is, we want this, because here's the next problem, okay? Is that defense is used to seeing us do this. Okay? They're used to us seeing us do this. And so what happens is this Sam Backer, he starts to see that. This Mike Backer, he'd be the Mike, all right, because they bump it. All right? He starts to see that, and they start playing the zone read like that. All right? So now all we're going to do is, on the jet, we're still blocking the Zorro. We're giving him the Zorro look. Okay? We still want the end to feel the tackle through. We want the end to turn his shoulders to go close to it. We want the Mike Backer reading the back and doing it. We want the line to show Zorro. We want them to play Zorro. All right? And now all we're going to do is we're going to come down and this is like the cruise thing. All right? We're going to come down and we're just going to block the first thing we see there. He's going to release to the alley, and we're going to give it to that guy and just run G sweep. Still going to pitch it. It's passing yards, bro. How do you think we threw for 4,000 yards, right? Those are passing yards. We like those. Okay?
How far on the F quick is he away from the quarterback?
2 yards.
2 yards.
2 yards. Oh, let me pull one up. I'll show you guys. Yeah, West Virginia runs that a bunch. Dana does. They also will do a different, like we run out of bone, all right? We got it from, actually Dana and I got it from Oklahoma, all right? And then they'll also out of the 2-back set, okay, we call it load and not jet, okay, is they'll start down like it's Zorro. It's almost reverse blocking, all right? And we'll load that guy. We'll load the end and hand the ball off, all right? So it's still looking, to the D line, it's still looking like Zorro. So that end's closing with the tackle. Here comes, we're going to load with this guy. All right. Well, I like to do it out of the bone. Okay. They'll load him. We'll send him to the alley. All right. So it's really just the same. It's still jet, except we've insured the end with that play side guy in bone. West Virginia runs that one a lot. That's a big red zone play for him in bone. Just to load, which Oklahoma is where we all got it from. They run that a bunch.
When you're in bone, how far are the wideouts split out the X and the Z? Normal split?
Yeah, normal splits. Yeah.
Kind of motion to that, too.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's some. I mean, you could start. I mean, what's fun about it? And I keep saying this: don't change the play, change the presentation. Okay, that's actually the Y. Could be 3 backs, whatever. That's the T. There's the F. Okay, bone. All right. Well, let's go tear. That's still the T. Let's go tear. All right. Let's go tear and run. Zorro even. Remember what he said? He's just getting in pitch face. Instead of us motioning him to the comet, now, if you want to be an option guy, all right, now go tear. So now, but teach your quarterback the same thing. So the rule for the quarterback is whenever I motion a guy out of the backfield, if nobody moves, throw the freaking ball to him. Okay? So they want to line up like this to me. Okay, they want to line up like that. All right? And nobody moves. Hell, let's throw it out here on this guy. You MDM it. All right? Now they move a guy out. All right? Now we're running Zorro through. We're reading the 5 technique. All right? He closes. We're coming down and pitching off the funnel and free. I mean, you could get as far, as deep into something like that as you want to get, depending on if you're like coach has an option team, all right, or whatever. But what I like is everybody's rules stay the same. So that
my favorite part about it is, and we're gonna put out the run game with the quarterback option just so you guys have it in case that's the kind of kid you got. But that's outside of the box because that isn't the base. But if you have to adjust to what you have too. We understand that.
How do you like to get a ball, coach? You got ball coach here. So reason why, just to give another look.
exactly. Exactly.
And it's the same blocking. They're working on one back guy. That's what you mainly want to be.
Exactly. Like my 20-person. To me, this is was just another way. Because I like some of the like our backs really liked running inside zone, the slip play from the pistol. All right? Because it's a little bit better entry point by your back. All right? As opposed to running it from over here. Okay? Now I'm talking we're blocking the backside 5. It's a straight handoff. So this is a way I could create this. All right? Send him in fast motion. All right? Where we still got the comet going over here. And now run. That's our number 1 play. Divide zone.
Is your quarterback up tighter?
No, he lines up the same spot. Yeah.
Coach, did you tell them why you call it Comet and why you have key 1 and 2? Why Comet is?
The only reason it's called Comet, they're all key 3s, but we tag it Comet, all right, for the receivers. Because here's what happened when we first did it. Okay.
And the quarterback didn't see him out there either, right, Nolan?
Right. So he'd go like this, and we call Zorro odd key 3. Okay? Well, those receivers, you go like this to them, they all look out there and they go, okay, he's getting the bubble. All right? Key 2, I'm getting the bubble. Key 1, you're getting the bubble. All right? Well, then we started doing this, ghost, or F quick, or tear. We started bringing motion to them, and I'd look out there and I'd go key 3, and the receivers would all go, there ain't a fucking 3 out here, coach. Who's getting the ball? All right? So now they would eventually have learned it. If I give you 3, you 2 guys just block. All right? But I just made it simpler for them, and just so when I went Comet to them, they knew that, hey, somebody's coming to us. That was the only reason. Yeah, somebody's coming to you out there. All right? The quarterback didn't screw up, and it's like, did you mean this? Did you mean, that's what they were doing. There's only 2 of us out here. It's got to be a 1 or a 2. All right, so they just do Comet. All right, somebody's coming out here. We're blocking.
I guess I got a little confused. You got Comet and Comet. Is that the law?
Okay, so key 1. Okay, so say we were going to do this. Because I want the play to look exactly alike. So they were sitting over here, and this is in the hash.
Okay, we're running this play. Zorro odd, key 1, right? Okay? These guys know they're 4 down to Mike. Bing, he's through. So if it was like this, let's say, there's a Sam, Mike, Will. Okay? Like that, these guys know if they're blocking it like this, he's threw that in to the Will backer, the whole thing. Okay, so there's our base play. Day 1, that play goes in. Okay? Well, now, we've got to protect this guy. We have to protect him right there. Okay? So to protect him, we're going to go lock, key and lock. We're going to go lock 1. Well, if he was going to go dual left, this would be dual left, he'd go, hey, Zorro odd, he'd go key 2, right? Or 1, I'm sorry. Key 1. Okay? He'd go key 1. Okay? Now we stopped with the key thing. We're just going 1. Right. So now, when he comes up and he ever uses 2 hands, we're throwing the pass off it. So now he go, that's lock. That's key. Lock. Right. So then he said, like I said, the quarterback should figure out, he goes, well, if I'm not throwing this away, let me throw this away too. And there's key, there's lock. So he go, boom. That means lock 1, lock 2, lock comet. Okay? 2 hands. All right?
And lock was what again? That's the key, and that's the lock.
Right. Right. 2 means 2. 2. Right.
Okay.
Right.
I was just a little confused on that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little slow.
When you say lock, what are we telling them involved?
Yeah, so now lock means this, is we're going to show this. Now, the protection stays the same. Okay, you guys are still 4 down to Mike. All right? You are responsible for the Will backer. All right? So this protection goes lion protection. All right? You got backer your side. We want you to fake the Zorro and draw him up. Now we're going to pump this. You're going to go here and do that. So it should look just like we're protecting our key throw. Okay?
What's a pop call?
Okay, a pop call is this. All right? So remember from yesterday, all right? The line is always responsible for who? 4 down to Mike, okay? We control the linebacker away from the play with what? He's the key backer, right? We're keying him. He's the guy that we say can't play the A gap, can't play the B gap, and play the screen at the same time. So he's our key. So our quarterback, by alignment and he's in tight, he may just throw it right now. Freaking, you're already in the B gap, man. You got to go tackle him. All right? If he's kind of sitting off the edge, he'll do this. All right? If that Will backer starts inside, he'll pull and throw. So that's the quarterback's key. Okay? The next guy we got to control is this cat, because what will happen is this guy will start moving in. Okay? He'll start moving in. So he's the pop backer. When he stops it, pop it. Okay? So now he would start down like he's going to go block that guy, and he'd pop him to vertical. So remember, we're trying to control those 2 guys. All right?
You got to call it.
No, what would happen is, like I said, these guys always come off and the wheel's bitching, all right? Freaking, I can't get it. Or you look up and you got everybody blocked and this Sam backer's tackling you for a 2-yard gain in the B gap, all right? Somebody upstairs or somebody, me or the receiver saying, fuck, coach, you got to pop him, all right? So he would do the same thing. He'd go dual left, all right? He'd go through the same deal, all right? He'd go dual left. Here we go. Hey, Zorro odd, Zorro odd. He just told him, pop him. All right? So now he goes like this, and he comes up and he tries, because what's going to happen is, all right, he's going to play down. He starts to play into it. Boom, we're just trying to hit him right there. And there is no rule on that route. Get your ass open. Come down there like you're going to block the guy. I don't know where he's going to be. And then once you just clear him, just wrap around him and look for the football. If there's grass, take the grass. If there's no grass, find the grass. Okay, so that whole thing starts the same way. So you can add pops to anything. Okay, say you're playing. I'm just giving an example. Okay, say we're running divide zone. Okay, like this, and they're playing quarters on me. Well, most teams that play quarters at 20 personnel, this guy is a run-fit guy. All right? So you're teaching your guy or you're running stretch, whatever, I always look at it this way, all right? You got to block MDM on this play, receiver, okay? If you can't get that block, if he's stopping the play, pop him. So now he comes down and goes, bam, and he pops him, okay? Now, we call the run, the old line's doing everything the same, okay? They just heard the run, all right? So it's just like, boom, bam. I know you see Houston do it, West Virginia do it, you know. Leach doesn't do it as much, but it's just a little freaking chicken shit pop. Okay, so back to your comment deal, coach. Okay, so say we're doing this, tear, Zorro odd, comet with a cab block. Steve? Okay, I want to get back to your question, all right? Okay, so this is a base play for us, right? This is a base play for us, okay? Zorro odd, tear, cab block, comet. Okay? All right, well this is happening. All right, so your answer is what? Yes. Okay? Hey, it's still Zorro odd instead of comet. All right, you go boom. Okay? These guys block it, make the same call like they would if it was the run.
Right.
They just either switch it. If it was a man call, they'd do that.
They would just say cab, or
They make the same call, so the defense just like the run. He go cab.
Could you call that in your call if you wanted the cab?
Yeah, like I'm going to show you a film here. All right, like against Missouri, I said, hey, look, at every time I double comet call or I lock tear comet, all right, guys, I want you to cab it every time. So they just knew that week.
And you key plays back in there? I think I saw one clip where you keyed a play.
Yeah, just as a tendency breaker, because our tendency is so much to go dual right to the field, run the Zorro strong, and throw the key to the boundary. All right, is that sometimes we'll F quick. All right, and we'll actually throw the key to the way the back's moving or to the screen to the field. And a lot of it depends on, like Arizona. Okay, this is how Arizona was going to do it. So this is the stuff you're looking for on film, how they playing me. Okay, when we set the back, all right, when we set the back there, okay, and they wanted to be a quarters team, okay, this backer right there, all right, because they always wanted to send the shade here, all right, the end there, they wanted the 3 and the 5 to the field, okay, so they were an over team, okay. This guy, by theory, all right, is the B-gap player, all right. Now, if I set it this way, so Mike's the B-gap player, and he's a C-gap player. See what I'm saying? So you got to, if they're a team that does that, you got to say, okay, who's responsible for what gaps? So against Arizona, we said, okay, well let's run the zone to the shade, which we like, all right, and let's key this guy, because he would start as soon as he saw this, he's thinking, shit, I got to be a B-gap player, and now we throw our key to the field. Okay, that's just how they played us. Most people don't play us that way. They play the 3 and the 5 to the back for that reason. So that was the reason we did it that week. That make sense?
Yeah, I just don't want to say, it's just a throwing out there. You're not riding and still.
Not on that, no. He just looked up and that guy was kind of edging. Right there, he just took it and threw it. Okay, and it was we did it, a few times, not a lot. I wanted to show this here. What?
You said that about 20 minutes ago. Yes.
Do you alert the line when you do a lock call?
Do a what?
Do you alert the line when you do a lock call?
Yeah, we give him a purple call. He'll just say purple just in case that guy decided to.
That's so he doesn't get downfield?
Yeah.
That's what you mean. That's good. That's what we're trying to do.
Sometimes we call it lock low, we can turn that tackle back out on that end. You ever done that?
Yeah, well, that's basically what a purple call does.
Okay.
Yeah, purple call just,
Inside back.
yeah, we blow the backer off. It just makes sure we block the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because I'm not hooked up to the internet. So here'd be dual right F give, so you guys could kind of see the give. So he's pretty good. He's 2 yards right in front of the center. We're called Zorro odd, and that's how that's the give. Snaps it right at the outside leg of the tackle. All right. If he's running F quick, we still want to turn his shoulders that way. All right. And all we're trying to do is just get the ball in the perimeter and let this guy kind of make guys miss. All right. So that's, somebody has asked how we did the F give.
Yeah, we don't want to show highlights against UCLA.
Huh?
If you show them the highlight against your new team.
Oh yeah. Well, UCLA will be doing that this year. Okay, let me find one here. Let's just look at a game. All right, and you'll see the good and the bad, the screw ups and the good shit and the bad shit, because there's always bad shit. Okay. And I can kind of tell you what our thought was against these guys. Okay. Okay, so right here it's dual left, F ghost. Okay, he gave a comment call out here, and I'll tell you all and I'll just, if I was coaching my guys, all right? All right, comet, all right? Comet. Now, the slot down here, what his rule is, never block a blitzer. Okay? So right here, he should be coming off, we got a pointer on him? Yeah, he should be right out here. Now, here's the next thing that's why I think it's so important, all right, guys, that you work on your key screens, like you're going 9-on-7 with your old line. Those guys got to get 10 minutes a day, all right, of working all this stuff, because in a perfect world, and they did it later in the game, is right here, he's got to recognize this. He fires, let him go, all right? I always want these guys to get the play started. So what should really happen, he should come off and feel this guy is more of a danger, and he should help his partner right here. So we should actually be getting a double on that guy. Right? And a lot of times we'll get doubles on that guy, we won't even get a guy off on him, and I'm fine with that. All right? Let's get the play started. Okay?
Can you almost do a through with it? Can you almost do a through with it with those guys?
Kind of what it is, yeah. I mean, to me it's the same. It's just like your old line, right? Okay? So if you see right here, he ought to see how he turns like that. He should blow him off. And right here, he should come help Mike out here, right? And they should be doubling this guy. Okay, so we've tagged Comet and we've tagged this under screen. So if Brock liked the look right here, he'd throw in the Comet. He didn't. Okay, now the line knows right here, they're 4 down to Will. All right? So there's still sidewalk alley. So the right guard, center, or sidewalk alley. There you go. Thanks. So all I want those guys to think about is, and I don't know who the hell's going to block them, boys. All right, but you guys, and protection-wise, okay. Remember, all right, Rose and Linda. If it's protection, you guys are 4 down. Okay, back up 1 second. All right, all of our under screens, protectionally, we got to talk about that first. All right, is we're 4 down to Mike. Okay. So I don't care, when you call Rose and Linda, with any formation you get in, the line knows they're 4 down to Mike. There's no duels, there ain't shit. Alright? This is what you guys got. And I'll draw up what we were doing right there. Okay? There's the 4 down. There's the Mike. Okay? There's the Will. Okay? There's the Sam. So remember, all of us are controlling these guys. Okay? I don't want to have the line to think, oh shit, they brought the Will Blitz and this, or the Sam's coming. Who's going to block him into protection? They hear Rose and Linda. They know I'm 4 down to Mike. Okay? If this was to happen, we should get 5 hats on those 5 guys. Okay? Now, so I got to control these other guys with the play. Well, here's how I controlled it. F quick. If that happened, quarterback, throw that. There's your hot. Okay? If he comes back, you got the will, get to the screen. Now, he came from over here to make it look like Zorro. He still tracks across, bump him, get to the screen. Okay? So just keep it simple. That make sense, Jack?
Yeah, great.
So right here, you see them looking, they're 4 down to 33, back's got 25. Okay? Now, once they release on the screen, 1001, 1002, sidewalk alley, just like rocket laser. Okay? Now, the tricky part on underscreen that you got to kind of coach is this. Alright? This guy right here is a pain in the ass on underscreen. The will. Okay? So we allow these guys, because you don't know how quick, who's going to get out quicker, somebody gets caught up, he gets held, whatever. So all they know is out of you 2 guys, here's the sidewalk, here's the alley. Okay? First guy out's got alley. Okay? Second guy out's got sidewalk. That's the only coaching point they got. So let's see how they did. First guy out, all right?
You put him on alley because the will.
Because the will's a problem. Yeah, he's a pain in the ass. Okay, trio into the boundary. All right, F quick. Okay, 2-man snag. All right, we knew these guys they like to be split safeties, cover 4. All right, so we went 2-man snag to the field, and all the F was here was just a guy to keep the safety soft. Okay. All right, so now if I was to block, if we were to block right here, where's that little thing go? Okay, if we were to block Zorro even, so this is a run force. Okay, trio right in the boundary, F quick, Zorro even, Comet. Everybody with me? Okay. Now we want to throw if I was to block that, these guys would be what? 4 down to Mike. Okay. He would be what? Through. Correct. Okay. Now I want to free release the back. You guys are still 4 down to Mike. You're sift. Block the most dangerous, just like you would in the run play. Okay? So there's a lot of carryover for the line. So see how the center and all those guys, all right, they should be taking the Mike. He should have been bumping back this way. He probably made an east call or something. I don't know what the hell they're doing. All right? But this guy becomes hot for us because they brought 2. Just like if that was Zorro, all right, he'd be throwing a key right there, wouldn't he? Because that will came. Okay? No, this is just our protection. Okay? Our protection. If this was Zorro, he'd have been throwing the key out here, or the Comet, because here comes him. So throw it.
What did you say it was?
This right here is F fly. Okay? It's not quick. It's fly because we want him over here. All right? To protect the snag.
Can you run that one more time? Well, even though Will came, we still on his back, out leverage him.
Yes, 1, 2, 3, out leverage. He should go 5 steps, parallel, 1, 2, 3, 4. He saw hot. Okay, he's yelling right now. Hot, 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 hot for the quarterback. All right, you got to get the football to him. Yeah, you should outrun that white kid. Okay, here's flex. All right, F ghost. Oh, I'm sorry, F quick. All right, there it is right there, guys. I mean, the quarterback could have handed it off. I don't get on his ass. All right. He said he felt this guy deep. And remember what we said? Did he feel any movement by anybody there? He felt no movement, so I was telling him, throw the freaking ball out there. No movement, throw the ball. Let's get right to that. That's his comment. All right? Comment with a man call, right? Comment with a man right there.
Maybe you do it there because the linebackers are line.
Who?
The quarterback.
I guarantee you he threw it because I tell him from day one, if you send a motion and nobody moves, throw it. So there's nobody moving right there to him, right? Over here. Everybody's just sitting there. So he knows, all right, well, I got him blocked and him blocked. I could throw it out here and that guy's got to make a tackle and he's 10 yards deep. Okay, I don't think it's a great run by the kid. He should have taken the outside. Not a great job by the receiver, but hey, it's 5 yards. I'm fired up.
You ever tell your outside receiver to kind of dual read those things for him?
Yes, he's MDM.
So he's kind of looking inside.
Yes.
That change he throw it, did you see?
Yes.
He sat for a second, so I would turn it back to. He did just slide down.
Okay, 2nd and 6. Now this was all scripted all week. I was going to these plays no matter what. All right.
You do that the first, how many plays do you do that?
Usually, here's how my sheet looks. All right. Looks like this. My 28 plays. My 28 plays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, down to 28. Okay, my first play we ran was trio F quick. Wasn't it F quick? Right? No, it's trio. It was FIB. Okay, formation in the boundary. It was FIB. Trio F quick. Comet. Rose, Linda, Comet. So that was like the first play of every practice. All right, I was calling that the very first play, trying to get a big play on it. Okay, all right. Then my next play we ran was what? So then I did the same thing. I said, okay, I'm going to come right back with FIB. I want to go trio F fly and run RL protection X on. Okay, early in the game my tendency is I want to get the ball on the swings and all that stuff early. Because I want those guys to know they got to go cover people. So maybe I can get stuff down the middle of the field. Okay? Then I came and I went, hey, we're going to go flex. I just want to run a base Zorro play. And this is what the O-line coach, this is one of his base runs for that week. F quick, all right, Zorro, strong, okay, Comet. All right? All right, well now I want to show him a 12, so I was going to go, now I've done this to him, all right? I've come out and I've freaking thrown a screen. I've come out, I've thrown a swing. I've come out, I've thrown another Comet. All right, so I got him used to doing this. So now I just wanted to come out and I want to go RL Daytona. Now I want to throw 4 verts on him. Okay? So that was how my so like when I remember how I put all the plays first, I had like all the runs and then, okay, that's how it kind of starts. Then I go to another board and I kind of start shuffling them around how I like them. All right, so by Wednesday, I got it pretty much. And so when I go, okay, I just called that one. All right, that was the second play, I called it. That was the third play, I called it. That was the fourth play, I called it. Oh shit, I called that one. I don't know why, but I like that one. All right, and I'll just start checking them out. All right, and then a guy upstairs then kind of get a feel for what I'm doing. And
you also said on Wednesday night you count Brock, and you bring Brock in, and you like number of.
Yeah, Brock would have this up there on Wednesday night, and he'd come over here and he'd go, shit, I love that one. That's a 10. Okay, he loves Exxon. That's a 10. That's a no-brainer. I mean, we're gonna run that. That's an 8. Hey, man, I like to throw it deep. That's a 7 or an 8. All right. Then I had something up here, and he said, that's a 4. I don't really know that one, Coach. All right.
I thought that was smart.
Yeah. So then all 28. So then I come in the next morning. I go anything under about a 5. I go out. I ain't calling it because he don't like it. I mean, I have yet to have to throw a pass in a game yet. All right. He has to do it. Maybe he didn't understand it was a blitz, or maybe he didn't like the play, or whatever. So I'll try to get him out of there. Now there's some plays that I really like. And he could put a 1 on it, and I'm still calling that some bitch. All right?
That's like, quick story, when I had Phillip Rivers at NC State, all right? And this is where it all came from. So we would run this play a lot. And this was back when not everybody was doing them, but we'd run two-man snag in the boundary, all right? And then I would run like something else over here, okay? So he could take his two-man scat game when he wanted it over here. So he comes in on Monday, says he loved that, all right? He wasn't wild about that, but he loved this. He goes, Coach, do this for me. Now, this is where it actually all got started, all right? Do this, all right? Let him run a scat. Let's free release both these guys like that, and I'll throw it off to Mike Backer. Okay? The Mike Backer's leaning this way, I'll work off the Will. If the Mike Backer's leaning this way, I'll work off the Sam. I'm like, that's not going to work because I need protection over here and I need to be in a protection. No, just let them both go. Free release them. So he was Phillip Rivers, so I said, okay, all right, we'll do it. All right? So we used to call this scat instead of snag. So that was scat, all right? That was X-scat. So we put this in and he goes, well, what do you want to call it? He says, I'm just going to call it double scat. Okay, all right, cool, double scat. So we go to play North Carolina, first play. They kick off to us, all right, we get it. I go, Phillip, what do you want? Looks at me, I want double scat, Coach. All right, I'll call it. It won't be worth a shit. We'll get it out of the way. He won't be bugging me all game, all right? So we call double scat. He completes it, all right? Well, Phillip was such a freaking awesome kid during the game because he's one of those kids, he'd throw the scat and he'd be doing this, you know? He'd be going, hi, like this. So he looked over and he went like this. I go, okay, do it again, all right? So he completed the first one to this guy, all right? Came back, completed the next one to the swing. All right, came back, all right, long story short, he called that formation, that play 9 times in a row. And the 9th one was in the end zone for a touchdown. That's how smart I am as a coach. The same freaking play. And because his progression, he knew the play so well. He would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now he started, they tried everything. They freaking spun the safeties on him. He saw that, he went to the backside. They brought hot, he hit the back. But and that kind of hits you, is that freaking, he knew the play, so he felt good about it. So why would I call some other shit that he didn't feel good and just keep calling that?
Well, on Chevron, we're always running number 1 on the snag, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You have a snag number 2 or number 3?
No. On double scat, on two-man scat you do. Okay, so here was this flank right, all right? All right? We run this play, this is one of our base plays, I don't see the down the distance is. 2nd and 6, all right? I'm a big run guy, I'm a big call repeater, and I'm a big run guy on 2nd long. All right? That's kind of my MO. All right? So this was one of our base plays. We just run the stretch play out of pistol to flank. All right? Because I want just enough of this 12 personnel flank or deuce, bone. I want just enough of it where the defense has to work on it during the week. Okay? Where they just can't work all week on fast, no huddle spread. All of a sudden, here comes freaking 2 tight ends in. Those could be 2 offensive tackles. I could give a shit. All right? But here they come, and we're freaking running stretch at your ass. Now, all of a sudden, next play, we're back in spread. I want just enough of it. All right? And I don't add any different plays or anything like that. They just run shark this way. All right? So here, then, we just went 4 verticals on them. And I don't actually think we score on this drive, but see what happens.
Well, right there, you were close to the red zone. That was our Achilles heel this year was the red zone.
Okay, so how do you work on red zone?
Well, we try to practice it in the red zone. We try to come up with the best play.
So, but tell me how how do you set it up?
We'll get with the defense. A lot of times we try to go one-on-one with it.
But how does it fall in your practice?
It can fall toward the end. It can be a little bit in the middle.
So you just take a little period right there and say, we're working red zone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't like that.
Took a whole day, right?
Okay, it's a red zone day. Okay?
Install 2 is a red zone day, okay? So so here's my 1 through 28, right? Okay, here's my game. We're talking during the season, okay? All right, here's 3rd or 4th and 1, all right? Then there's 3rd and 2 to 6, okay? There's 3rd and 7 to 10, and there's 3rd and 11 plus, okay? All right, there's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, so whatever, that's where I'm going to script there, okay? Then there's red zone. Okay, there's high, there's low, no, there's high, there's middle, and there's low. Okay? Where do you want your red zone to start? Where's your high red zone for you? Okay, that's a 35 to me. Okay, when I get to the 35, I know how hard it is. This was a high red zone play. That flank. I was so anxious to throw it. I should have thrown it on this down instead of before. Okay, but I want something where I can freaking score. I don't want to have to, like you said. You're down in there, and all right. I want 4 verts. I want something, man. I want to score. Reverse pass, whatever. Okay, so that's my high red zone right there. All right, 1, 2, 3. Middle red zone. Okay, where does your red zone start? All right, say it starts at the 20. Okay, most defenses, coordinators start to change their thinking about the 12-yard line. Okay, so let's go. Hey, the middle is going to be, all right, from the 25 to the 10.
Is that for you?
That's for me. Okay, it's really the 12, but the 10. Okay, and then I'm going to have the low. Okay, so that's the 9 plus. All right, 9 to the 3 or 2 yard line. Then down here you have really goal line. You got it first and goal at the 2 or the 1, inside 3 yard line. Okay, so then you've got 1, 2, however many plays you like in those situations. Maybe there's only freaking 1 play inside the 3 or 2 plays. Okay, for us it's going to be bone fast slip, and there's going to be bone lead. Okay, where we're getting bone, and we just run double lead, and we have fades on the outside. We'll call it, if they're pressed up man-to-man, I'll take my 2 tall receivers. They know in bone goal line. All right, big bone. I'll get my 2 big guys out there, maybe a freaking tight end. If they want to bring everybody in the box and they want to press up my guys, he'll call lead. He'll look out there and go like that. He'll catch it and throw the fade. Okay? Doesn't check or anything. So, all right. So anyway, you're just catching the drift. So there's 3 to 4 plays you want in those areas. Okay? So over here, off my 28, which ones fit in there that I like?
On red zone day?
On red zone and 3rd down. Okay? So you start building these scripts, all right? And there's going to be a couple over here, all right, that you carry every week or that you really like that's not in the 28. That's where I said I usually carry like 38 to 40 plays. That's where those extra 6, 7, 8 plays where I absorb those. That's only getting called on 3rd and 7 on 11 plus. I'm not calling it over here 1st and 2nd down. On 3rd and 11 plus, this is my play I like to throw. All right. So anyway, so now as I script that day, okay, 4 again, however many plays. So this is the first team period. So every team period, when we're going against the scout team or the defense or whatever, I'm going to script this. If it's a red zone day, the script never this part of the script never changes. All right, it's plus 40, 1st and 10, left hash. Okay, then it's plus 35, 2nd and 5, right hash. Okay, then it's plus what did I say, 35, then it's plus 31. Now it's 3rd and 1, left hash. Now it's plus 25, 1st and 10, left middle. Now it's plus 10, all right? Would that be 1st and 10, all right? Now it's plus 2. So in other words, I've scripted my little mini drive, all right, that I work, just like it is in a game, right? Just like it happened right there, okay? Boom, I've moved my kids down into the red zone.
So they're not just sitting down there and you've ran 4 plays from the 5-yard line and then 4 plays from the 10-yard line. They don't know my thinking. They're just running plays. But now my guys know, hey guys, frickin' it's reverse pass. Okay? My first time I hit in the 35, right there, all right, reverse pass is getting called. So they know it's coming up in the game. Okay? Hey, the first time I get at the 10, maybe we're going to run, trio into the boundary, motion it, run wide pop. Okay? So they practice the game. All right? Does that make sense to you? Then it's the same thing when you go third down. Okay? Now these would be all out in the open field. It'd be first down, second down, third down. So to me, I'm practicing calling the game is what I'm doing. I mean, now I know, shit, I worked all week on, man, I just drove it down to 10-yard line. Here's my play. The kids know this is what we've worked on. Here's what I'm running.
So how long have you been game planning like this? With three, install 1, install 2, install 3, so long?
Probably about 5 years.
You get tired of looking at your call sheet and saying, boy, I had a bunch of plays on there I didn't call? Is that what got you to this, or how did you get to this?
Well, because I used to do it because I went and visited NFL teams and Brian Billick and all this kind of stuff, and they got freaking 100 plays on your call sheet. So I missed the game. I mean, I never got to watch the game because you're like this. You call a play, all right, and you're sitting here and you're doing. You see the guys on TV. They're doing this. Okay, what was it? Oh, it's 2nd and 5. Oh, here it is. Let's call this. Okay. Where I want to play the game. So I'm like, hey, trio right in the boundary, F quick. Oh, fuck, they're going cover 3. Let's go F quick and throw X on. All right? Shit, there's, I mean, and the only way I can do that is not have a lot of plays. All right? And then I want to get feedback from the guys come on, like I said, the biggest mistake I think I made a lot was when those guys, the first thing that happens is when they come off the field is my backup quarterback grabs Brock. Okay? Because I don't want to talk to Brock right away. All right? That way Brock can bitch about me to him and not bitch to me about me. Okay? What the fuck's he calling out there? Why did he call that? And then my guy, because the backup quarterback, I mean, I rely a lot on him. All right? He's watching the game. He knows the game plan. He's seeing stuff too. So I'm getting feedback from him. All right? And so I go right away, I go to the line. All right? The line sits down and I go, okay, what's the problems, guys? And the O-line guy's sitting there. All right, what's the problems? Oh man, they're saw dogging us, man. Coach, you need to, when Brock sees it, you need to get us in some gap protections, okay? Or whatever the problems are, right? Then I grab the receivers. What do you guys, what's going on out there, guys? Hey, they're rolling the 3 of the strong safeties coming hard on the Comet. All right, I'm gonna get you a couple locks this next drive. All right, so this is when, at this point, I'm kind of setting my how I'm calling my next drive. I need to come out right now and lock them. All right, so the Comets are better. Or I need to throw an under screen. Or which way is Zorro working best, guys? Shit, don't fucking F quick it anymore because this is happening or whatever. Okay, I won't F quick it. Put it in the, you know what I mean? You're talking. Then by that time, the strength guy comes over and he charts how fast we're playing. So he would come in and say, no, you're at 18 seconds. So he writes down, he goes, okay, they snapped that one, 12 seconds left, 16, 22. And he'll add it all up and average it. And he'll come over and he'll say, hey, you're at 18. So I'll tell the guys, hey, you guys, we're at 18 seconds, man, that's good. We want to be somewhere around 20. All right, so let's pick it up a little bit. Guys, you're at freaking 14 seconds. Line, get your ass down, let's go. All right, get up on the ball. Receivers, get set, So they know what our goal is, the players. All right, and when I start going slow, they're bitching at me. I mean, you'll see the quarterback or the receivers, they'll be doing this to me on the fucking field. Come on, get the play in. All right? Come on, let's go. Because they know when we go faster, we score more. We really do. I mean, when we average about 1:37 a drive, all right, that's what our scoring drives average. Somewhere between 1:37 and 2 minutes and 14 seconds. All right? When we take us 4 or 5 minutes to drive, usually some bad shit happens to us. All right? It does. I mean, more plays, the more opportunities to fuck it up is how I look at it. Let's freaking go fast, let's score, and let's get our ass off the field. So, back to his question about red zone, right? That's when you start as a play caller, you start trying to get smart, right? Hell, if trio right, Zorro, key one was good on the 40-yard line, why isn't it good on the 10-yard line? Right? Why isn't it good on the 15-yard? I mean, why is there a whole new offense that you have to run in the red zone? There isn't. There may be a few plays that your kids know every week. We run this. Okay? We run. Okay? So here's the other thing. See, he hard counted the guys. So that was another thing. Red zone. So on my red zone, right here, low red zone, I'll always have middle. I'll always have lightning. All right? Just come out trio left, hard count them. Why they didn't throw the flag on this, I'll have no idea. All right? And we just always block gap protection if the guy snaps it, and we send the 2 outside guys deep. Well, see, I'm trying to get it in the end zone now. I don't want to have to call a bunch more plays now. All right? In fact, to get this thing into overtime or to score before the overtime score, we got a pass interference on this play, which you guys can't do it because you guys, they blow it dead. All right? Okay, 3rd and 10. I hate it. All right? Sucks. Okay, just be patient right here, Brock. Here's a good example of what, and I agree with Jack. Now, my O-line coach at Arizona State was like 100 years old, and he was NFL for a while. So you see how that guard's like trying to jump set that guy, the right guard? I agree completely with Jack. If that guard would have vertical set, that guy would have ran right into him. Right, Jack?
Yeah, because he'd held the spot.
Because he'd have held his spot. All right? He was just vertical set. He saw that guy's going to the tackle. This guy would have ran right to him. And then if that would have happened, all right, Brock wouldn't have felt the pressure, and he'd probably hit this guy right here. All right? Instead, he felt like, shit, I got to get rid of it, all right, and made a bad throw to the grab route, which you wouldn't have got a first down anyway. Missed the field goal. We had the worst field goal kicker in fucking America.
So do you have a time that you tell Brock, you want to hand the ball out of his hand in a certain amount of time on routes, like 2.9 seconds?
Everything's rhythmed on hitch. Hit your back foot, ball's gone. Hitch, ball's gone. Hitch, ball's gone. Okay? I don't give them times. Okay? So here, this was creating duel. So it's blue, fast. Okay? Here's what Brock's looking at. All right? Remember we said if nobody moves, throw it? Okay? There's his key backer. Okay? So Brock is looking right at this guy. There's the through tackle. Now he should get going, right, Jack? Instead of standing around. All right? But there he is. So he sees him expand with the motion, hand it off.
Coach, at the end, would it crash? Your tackle was coming up. Does he go out to that wheel, or is he going to the line?
No, he should just go vertical, all right, and keep his eyes. You know what? Because a lot of guys will do this to us, all right? They'll play 3 buzz, right? They'll let him go out with the motion, and they'll buzz a safety down into the box. So he just is area blocking, right, Jack?
Yeah.
He's just vertical, looking for the next threat.
I was okay for a second. He just held in there. Kept good arms.
Like a throw, right?
It's a through. That's a through, exactly. Yep, exactly.
Staying in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
When they buzzed the safety in, to me, that's where he just comes on the food track. He became the new Willis.
This is, remember he did that on the first one? This is like the second, this guy screwed this up all year. He wanted to block everybody. Let that guy go. Go block that guy because we're handing it off because of how he's playing, right? Oh, down here? He should be MDM. He should have been right there. Okay?
They don't want to block and Kyle either, do they?
No, they don't. Well, plus they're all freaking knuckleheads, you know? But like this one, all right? This is what, So this is what I think this was pretty cool. Okay. Okay, we ran this one. You know, it kind of got the little Zorro stuff going here. All right. Came back, ran it again. This was actually stretch. Okay. All right. But that's 2 times in a row. What have you guys seen? Right? 2 times in a row. Yeah. So the guy up the boxes, look at how everybody's kind of sitting. They're trying to play this. Okay?
Hey, run that back, they sit up stretch,
Yeah.
quarterback's just getting off his spot.
Yes. He takes 1 step back. No, this is Zorro. I'm sorry. Did I say stretch? No, this is Zorro. Can see his feet. Flips his feet. He's reading. Yeah. But now I'm on the sideline and you're starting to see this. All right? You're starting to see, man, they're running guys to our comets and all that. So pop them. All right? Or double comet them, right?
Lock, lock.
Yeah. Lock it.
Double comet.
Yeah, or lock. Lock. Lock.
I'm with you.
Okay, we saw that, right? So I basically called the same play 3 times in a row.
I guess they call cab out there?
Yes. And I think in this game, I told them, if I ever give you a lock on the Comet, cab it. Okay?
Just a wheel out.
Yeah, it's just the old run and shoot switch, right?
And you see your inside guy, I think from what you were saying the other day, he could just grab some grass.
I teach all of the guys on most routes is, all right, and especially on vertical routes, all right, you're either going to do 1 or 2 things by 14 yards. You're either going to take the grass or find the grass. Okay?
Right.
So right here, all right, as they come off, right there, okay, he shut this down a little quick. He just popped so wide open because of the way that guy's playing. All right, but he says, I can't take the grass here, can I?
No.
All right, so I got to find the grass. So Brock could have thrown it to him right there. Okay, now he's saying, frickin', I'm taking the grass.
Right.
Okay, I'm leaving.
Either one can grab.
Either one, yes. Either one can find grass or take grass.
Right.
If he sat it down to the outside, does it come back, turn to the sideline, or does
And he just turns inside and finds grass. There's no real rules. All right, so this was something that we had put up here, all right? What medium red zone, we wanted to get into this, all right? Now, what screws us right here is who? Who screws us on this play? The frickin' backside tackle, right? Look where he's going. What should he do? Go vertical, stay square, and if you just hold that guy off just a hand on him, that back's gone. All right? Okay, now, if this end closes, now we could throw key out here, but here, we were more geared towards quarterback run. Okay? All right, so he should be right here. Okay, so these 3 guys should block those 3 guys. If the end closes, we want the quarterback pulling and running. Say we're not very good at that because we don't do it a whole lot, but that was the idea. All right? But see the tackle? Don't frickin' leave that guy like that. You're going to have plenty of time to get to that will.
I think I heard that play as backside guard. If he could have got a little more, that guy got up.
Right. Okay, so here's a base medium red zone play for us. All right? Now, Brock, we end up scoring on this. Okay? Brock doesn't really read it right. Okay, but we call China. All right, we call China. So China, he knows we've got hitch, press, release inside, corner out, okay, corner out, press. Right? He sees it split safety. He's going to poco this guy. So tell him, take the post. All right? Take the post on this. So this is what Brock should be looking at, this guy right here. All right? So if that guy doing that, he should right now think what? Corner. Freaking walk-in touchdown. If this guy was the sink, he'd throw the hitch, right? We got him by the balls right here. That guy can't cover them both. He should just go 1 to 2 off that guy. So from what he does. But he was so anxious, because this is the first time he pokoed a guy in a game, all right, that he wanted to cut. This kind of screwed him when he did that. So even if he would have came right back, this is like a bend right here. See this bend? Okay? Is right there. So now picture this too. This is a bend route on the backside. All right? So remember we talked about chevron dagger? This is the other way to attack the mic if the mic fits your snag. Okay? Now come right to him. Right now. Throw it. All right? He runs around and kid ends up making a big play for him. Okay, Shaq, all right? We talked about Shaq, okay? Daytona. This is the one somebody was asking about. Yeah, we'd rather him cross this guy's face, but he's all right, okay? So he just went Daytona, F Shaq.
Daytona's just all verts.
All verts. Mm-hmm.
That's why you vote points like this against that Ford out front, people in the empty, split the middle like that.
Okay, not blocked very well. Here's Zorro, okay?
What is the quarterback telling the O-line on the quick count?
Quick?
Just quick?
Yeah.
So he's telling quick, he's telling lightning, he's telling thunder.
Right. Well, lightning and thunder, but he's not giving them a play.
Right.
Okay? But if he just says quick, that's when the center's looking up.
Right.
All right? He's looking up. All right? 1001, snapping the football. All right, draw. Left guard just gets beat. That's what Jack was saying. Vertically set the guy. Okay, so you can see right here where we've tagged it. All right, 95. Okay, quarterback looks at it. He's got two guys running to the swing, to the comet, into the stick route right here. Okay, so we should have exactly what we want right there. All right, let's fold it to the wheel backer. Okay. Which it does get folded, just the left guard gets beat. I mean, our guys get beat just like your guys, right? Okay, so he just takes a shitty pass set, and now hand the draw off. All right, we're gonna go till 11:08 and take a break.
Yeah.
What time is it?
No, is it like 10 to 12?
It is?
Yeah, we go 10 more minutes and you gotta go.
I gotta go now.
Then we'll take a break and end the chat.
Okay, so I just showed him free. All right, see now here draw would have been good again. I'd run the shit out of draw if it's free against these guys. Okay, because there's 5 in the box. Right? Okay, right. And because remember we hit the lock on them. Okay, well this is see how they're playing our Comets. They're just so now, all right, want to throw Mercedes because they're only playing with 5 guys in the box. So Mercedes, we can throw stick there, double slant, whatever. All right. So once we found out how they're playing our Comet.
All right, you love snag and all that stuff. Where is that love relationship with the Mercedes? How much do you like running that? You know what I'm saying? And we were just talking about maybe trying to throw out a few concepts.
Mercedes would be one I'd throw out.
You know what I'm saying?
It's because it's a high maintenance throw. You know? I mean, it is. I mean, usually I call it so I can throw the corner route outside. That's why I call it.
We were just trying to You know, if we wanna play fast, we're gonna maybe throw out some concepts, so we don't have so much, you know, in it.
Coach, years ago, I heard you give a presentation on in the red zone, getting the ball to your best players.
Think players, not plays.
Exactly.
That's just the top right there, right?
Yep. There's our G play. Yeah,
G is giant view, right?
Giants, yeah. Yep.
Can you just talk about that for a minute?
Okay, so it's simple. We want to pull, if you got a guy in your inside gap, block down. Okay? If you don't have a guy in your inside gap, pull.
You don't run this out of boots?
No, we'll run it out of, we'll run it without the wing over here. I like it without that. All right?
Always a tight end though, right?
Right. Always to a tight end.
You get a 9 on that.
He turns out the 9 and the pullers think to pull up inside.
So you're not running out of double.
Does he make a wide call?
I usually don't run it out of double. Huh?
Is the tight end making a wide call to let everybody know?
Yeah, he makes a 9 call.
9.
So I'll show you real quick, then I got to go. All right. So my favorite way to run it was, see if I can find it here.
Picking him, is he just going to replace the tight end?
Yeah, he's tracking outside hip of the tight end.
That's your old truck play, Coach?
That's the old truck play, exactly.
Call that over stretch. Can't
Because of guys getting in the gaps, and because guys, when the guys start getting in the gaps on zone, it's hard. All right. Let me see if I can find one here. This is my favorite way to run it right here. So, giant. So this is a big red zone play for me. Okay. Let's see, this is the one. All right. So I'm going to call it, this is my best favorite way to run it. All right. Giants even. Okay. You're going to call Giants even. Trips right. Giants even. All right. And then he's going to tag it with Comet over here. So he's commented this side right here. Okay. So what he does is he comes up the quarterback, just like he talked about draw, controlling the backer, the outside backer. Well, the guy that's the problem in this play is this guy. Just like you would if you were running stretch, right? Because Jack's got to freaking get to that backside backer like on stretch. So all we do is we just call, hey, Giants, Comet. So all Brock would look at, and that's actually Steve, he says, if this guy, all right, is inside the B gap, where he doesn't think where the guard, we can't under that and get to him, or pull and get to him, all right, just tell the back Comet. All right? So it's just like all of our concepts. All right, we're controlling the play. So we got Giants over here. These guys are blocking Comet. All right, if this guy was to line up out here, let's run Giants. If he comes in here where we can't get him, let's freaking throw it where he ain't. Okay? I mean, that's too freaking easy, right? I mean, we're still pulling guys. I mean, the line's blocking Giants.
Look at the mic take. Look at the backer take off to the tight end. Is that what you're
That's pretty common, because it has to be a key forward in.
Yeah, there you go. Good. I never thought about that, but that's good. Yeah. All right.
Is there a reason why your back takes the stutter step?
Yeah, because he knew on Giants we're trying to get that backer to bite. All right. And so the quarterback would just take it and kind of dip down. The back went like we were starting Giants. So get him to run, and then, oops, I'm going this way. All right, and go the other way. Yeah.
You run this out of pistol?
This one, I tried it out of pistol. I didn't like it as much. Okay. Now, I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to this. The backs knew in 12 personnel they were always in pistol. Okay, when it was Giants, they knew if it was 11 personnel, there wasn't 2 tight ends. They went into offset. Okay, so I mean, we just kind of, it's just different looks for the defense. I'm of the belief that put your guys in the best position to do their job. Okay, well, this guy's job right here is to run the Giants or run the Comet. Well, that ain't too good if I'm standing back here. Now, if we were in 12 and we just wanted to run Giants and we just keyed this out here, then we'd tell him, hey, get in pistol. So he'd learn by game plan, flank, I'm in pistol. All right, trips. All right, I'm offset. All right. I wouldn't usually go into the game with both ways for the guy to do it. All right, guys, I got to go. Jack's going to hang on here for a while.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a 30-minute